So this is Lost Judgment, free game provided by Sega. Shakes hand toward you. Take all my opinions with a grain of salt. The game's free, but also I bought the game myself anyway because I'm not gonna not have a new Yakuza game on my Yakuza shelf. So Shakes fist anyway. Whichever company monitors influencer relations. I told you. Lost Judgment, the newest video game from RGG Studios, sequel to Judgment. If you have not played Judgment, I am fairly certain this will not spoil Judgment 1, especially since we're going to start about 45 minutes into Lost Judgment, which skips what little intro preamble there is that says, "Hi, I'm Yagami, and this is vaguely what I did in the last game, blah, blah, blah." And it also skips over some, like, incredibly incidental Yakuza 7 spoilers. So, this probably works out best for everyone? It doesn't, like, outright say, here's the ending of Yakuza 7 or anything, but it does touch on an after effect of Yakuza 7's deeply involved Yakuza series plot in a way that I was really surprised to just see them casually say. So, anyway, this is the menu. You can carry over your PS4 data if you play on PS4 now and eventually do get the PS5 version. Whatever the gauntlet is and your Master System save data won't carry over. So, yeah, be warned about that. 2-player minigames. Oh, hey, we can just jump right in. What I like about this menu, though, is that if you go down to game settings, cat. They just changed the cat over. I don't know why, but we like it. So yeah, Lost Judgment. You can see here I've made a stream save file and my own story save file because I need to get the footage later. I'm playing on hard. Yeah, exactly what Goldstorm said. Like, one of the biggest knock-on effects of Yakuza 7 happening has huge implications for the Yakuza series, but it involves the Yakuza, which are involved in the Judgment sub-franchise, separate franchise thing, so it's unavoidable, but I don't foresee it being mentioned again, so I think we're good. If not, you've been warned, but it's the kind of spoiler that makes you think, how did that happen? So it might be like the good kind of spoiler, but if you're like incredibly sensitive to that, that's your warning. Okay. Lost Judgment. We are playing in English. I actually meant to play in Japanese in general, just because I'm like that. But this is the English version of the game running on PS5. That's something I should probably throw in a stream title, actually. Putting Lost Judgment through its paces. PS5 game provided by Sega. Thanks to David at Sega. You say it's like watching the Spider-Man movies that spoil big stuff from the previous Avengers movies. I'm going to say it's similar to that, as someone who doesn't remember the new Spider-Man movies. It's just like things have happened in the world, and you just kind of got to accept that if you're jumping in a bit later, you are going to get those things happening. It's maybe a little different here, but that's just kind of the thing you have to accept. You have a rainy wallpaper. Who's the guy in the check with the hair? This is Yagami, Takayuki Yagami. He's a detective who only works for his own ideals and interests. He's a good man, and he why didn't you play Judgment? So, immediate things to say. I'm pretty sure I'm streaming at 60 FPS on PS5. This is a 60 frames per second experience. Feels great. It spoiled me from, let's say, going into settings and being like, oh, I want to prioritize resolution, because then I'm just like, oh god, oh no. I played the game at 4K downsampled to 1440p. Looks great, but it also still looks fantastic in 1080p, so if you're like me and haven't upgraded your TV, it's 59 FPS. Yeah, that new Sega RPG, he's in there. So where we are in the game, we have been helping this girl, whose name I've maybe forgotten due to not being used to streaming in a while. But she had a date that kind of vanished on her and treated her badly. But extracted, let's say, a lot of money from her, and she was like, well, where'd this guy go? I need to turn to Kamurocho's finest private detective agency to figure out what's up with Kosuke, who is not Kaito, but is this guy. Basically, he's going around and talking to girls and just pulling money out from their purses and then going to gamble with it. It kind of sucks. And we are at the point of the story where we are going to go talk to our good old former boss, Genda, up above the Popo here. And as far as Lost Judgment goes, that's everything you've missed. There's been a tailing mission, there's been a chase mission, and there's been a slight infiltration mission that showed off some parkour. We are getting into the part of the game where we will handle this thing with Kosuke, and then we will be introduced to the main plot shortly. But based on what I've seen in the demo, it's basically everything that's been shown in the trailers, and there is very little past chapter 1 story shown in the trailers, so you're not going to get any crazy spoilers here that you haven't already seen if you have watched the trailers. So I think that's everything I needed to clarify. Thank you, Kevin, very much. I'm listed as just chatting. God, Twitch.
Where is everyone? Oh, Sauerkraut at the courthouse.
Okay, I have resaved it. Maybe it'll stick this time. Yeah, the tailing missions. Yeah, so I can only speak on the one we've had, and this is where I get to remind you, a grain of salt, but I'm going to be critical of the game, so it's okay. Hello. Don't know what the hell happened, but I guess we're back. Hi. What's up? Oh. Hey, I'm back. Yeah, that's right. I am back. Yeah, there was no communication from Streamlabs to me that I was not streaming, so I was just going on and on and on about all this stuff. So I don't know where we left off at. That's cool. I didn't really know until I looked, and then I got an email about my stream ending and the stats for the stream, and I was like, great. So if I die again, I'm sure you'll mention it. We left off at you asking whether the trailing missions are better now. Okay. Basically, what I was getting at with that is that when it comes to the trailing missions, they are a little more forgiving in terms of if you are in their line of eyesight at a distance, they won't immediately look at you and go, wait a second, you're suspicious. If they are suspicious of you, they will see you in that instance. And you have a triangle button prompt with a certain amount of time you can expend that will let you act inconspicuous. Like, you'll look at your phone or you'll tie your shoes, and they'll kind of look at you and go, oh, I guess I'm not being followed because they're tying their shoes, and then they'll walk away. So far, the trailing missions seem very similar. There's a few other little differences, like, oh, there's no button prompt for getting in the cover. You just kind of automatically go into cover.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. But if you're hoping for a radical overhaul and improvement, so far it seems to be more of the same with a little extra convenience. There was a chase mission after it, which was basically the same as in the first game. Not that that was ever too much of a problem, but if you've played Judgment, you know what you're getting into with the chases there.
Not a murder case, is it?
Yeah, you know, I've only done one, so we'll see how they if there's any layers to it over time, but so far...
This happened 2 months back. Some good Samaritans at a train station pinned
But
down a
as for
girl
now,
who was trying
Genda
to
Sensei
get
is
away.
going
Don't you
to
know,
introduce our main
Cobra
plot
was a
here,
cop of all
incidentally.
things. Makes you wonder what this world's coming to.
Thank you, the
Naturally,
Crazy
press
Even.
had a field day with it.
Up until now, I was not playing Yakuza. I was not allowed, so I'm thankful I'm being allowed to. Joey, I could ban you for that.
Yeah, I remember hearing
I could do it and I'd be
It's
justified.
all over
Thank
the
you.
internet. Anything that stops the trains during rush
That was a
hour
great
makes the news.
reminder to turn
Who's
on
he
my
they
mod
talked
icons in
about?
chat.
Probably because he was a policeman.
The judge
Just
is
in
handing
case.
down the verdict today, and I don't expect he'll be pleased with it.
I'm gonna try not to talk too
Every
much over the
answer he's
plot, by the
given
way,
is
but if you do have
doing
questions
the
about the
call.
game, please ask.
That'll do him any good.
Stop that man! That man's a trooper! Stop him! Stop him!
I didn't do it! Let go! Hey, let me go! Someone help! Get a station car!
This man grabbed me on the train! He put his hand up my skirt!
No! You're wrong! You got the wrong guy!
Stop struggling, asshole!
Let me go.
The cops can check your hands to see if you did it or not. We'll be here any second now, so just chill out!
Hey! Are you filming this? Put that camera away!
Hog. Glad it wasn't just me.
Ihara-san, do you mind sitting up straight in court, please? A bad attitude isn't going to do you any favors.
It's her! I still can't tell if they changed her voice actress or not.
Does it even matter? It's over. The verdict has already been decided.
Your demeanor still has consequences. The worst things are
I think it's the same person.
The better an impression
She
you
sounds
need to
different to
make.
me. It's thrown me off ever since the trailers.
Leave an impression. Huh. Well, if I were the judge, I'd be happy about having an easy day on the job for once.
This is no time to be cynical either. Besides, the judge hasn't.
It's decided. Guilty is charged.
It's the same person. Okay, well that's just me being silly then.
This also means it's
Thank
almost
you.
time for the curtain to fall until the grand finale.
What?
And so, let's get this show on the road.
All rise!
Well, like I said, we should have a verdict coming down today. We only really needed Saori-kun at the bench.
Yes, exactly.
Yoshino-kun
This early
was
stuff
sitting
especially was all in the
Truth be
trailers, so you don't
told,
have to worry too
still
much
can't
if
tell
you're
when he's trying to help
still
or he's
looking to
trying
check the game
impress
out
him.
for yourself after what we play here.
Then he'll need to
I'll probably
pull
go
out
for like
all
a
the
couple hours or so.
stops. Saori-kun's no slouch. Plus, she's got ice in her veins.
Speaking of, how'd you end up on the hook for defending an active duty officer?
Well, another firm had it on their plate first, actually. Comro PD, they have their go-to guys. The plan was to get a confession, earning the defendant a nice retirement package and a simple case dismissed.
I love Genda.
You mean he'd be found innocent?
Bottom line, yeah. On the condition he left the force anyway.
Correct. But the plan fell apart when the cop kept insisting he didn't do it, in spite of the evidence stacked against him. So, once Comro
Yo,
PD's
Conrocho was in
lawyers
this
decided to
game?
throw in
The hell,
towel,
dude?
the case went straight to Saori-kun, who just happened to take the call.
Makes sense.
I'm sure they'll be back soon if you wanted to stick around.
I would, but I gotta tie up a few loose ends. But let us know if any new requests come in.
Restless as always. You ever heard of a vacation, Yagami?
If I took a vacation, I
Exactly
couldn't
why I
afford
turned my
any new
hobby into a
clothes. I'm
job.
still saving up.
Besides, I like staying busy.
Oh,
You never
it's just
did
funny to
this
me that
before.
everyone's wearing the
Anyway,
exact same clothes.
shouldn't
I
keep
know
you
that's a
waiting,
Yakuza
Saturday.
thing, but man,
Thanks again for looking after Keiko-san.
I just gotta look. Yep, it's still nasty in there. Okay.
Please be careful, Yagami-san. And thank you.
One of my favorite things, I was really happy to see that this is still the case. There is an elevator with the windows open, so fuck it.
Hey, ready to wreck shop talk? Not gonna be any bottles of beer on the wall when we're done.
Give me just a sec.
Actually, I have things to do. Like examine the reflection in your van. Is it okay? So, we're free to look around Kamurocho now. I haven't done this on my own terms, actually, so I'm going to do a quick lap just to see what's up. And also, I've been wanting to go into my skill. Okay. Lost items. Does that show up on my map? These icons all... Oh, these are people I can talk to. No, they're not? Are they people who are talking? Okay. Are you able to bring us around Kamurocho without using the map I know? Oh, of course. Oh, wait, we can go in Club Sega. This isn't the demo. Oh, man. Fuck that sign. We got some super hang on. That's good. Motor Raid's back. Space Harrier. Darts Live 2. Can't wait for Darts Live 3. Photobomb. Oh, my poor plant. Oh, yes, of course, down here. Oh, no! It's another copy of Motor Raid. They must have... Oh, Hum of the Dead must be in Yokohama. That would make sense. What all do we got in here? I like that blue one the most. The Robot Men. Oh, well. I gotta look at these. What are we doing? These are new. Oh, right, you can't maneuver the camera like you could in the old ones. Ah! I want to cheat. Fuck! Only the ones that are on the edge. Ah! Can I give up on this one and go to the next one? Yes, they have the same things. Okay. Why would you even bother with the one in the middle? Aha! I'm also just curious what this is. It's the other one's the Onomichi mascot. I can't discern what this is supposed to be. Oh, we got it. Pro tip from the Golden Bolt in chat. Saved our butt. Come on. Oh, that's the weird thing from Yakuza 7. Okay, the police mascot. Got it. I fucked that one up, didn't I? Okay, this might work. Oh! I was worried these ones would be deceptive, but... Oh! Okay, works out. We're good. Alright, so we got the pixel figurines for those two weirdos. I want to see our inventory system. It looks exactly the same. You have nothing. Oh, I bet I can put these in the office. Okay, we'll go to the office soon. Yeah, I understand that about Zero burning you out. It's, the issue with trying to get into these games at this point is that it's just fucking... I feel for anyone trying to do it in a short amount of time. You should not do it, but man, I feel for them. So many items here. Yeah, I was just thinking I should explain the item system. If this works like Judgment 1, there are extracts you can create, and it's basically a crafting thing. So you'll find all these random materials around the game world, and you'll bring them to some dude and mix them into things that'll like give you more experience points for a short amount of time, or better defense or better attack, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's pop our head in here. Virtua Fighter 5. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at it go. Oh, can I resist? Ah, fuck it. I'm sorry, we gotta. There's no way I can't. Start the game by inserting. Skip in. Sonic the Fighters. I'll lose. Don't you hate it when that shit happens to you? Oh, can't stand it. I've been waiting on this game to kind of come out more widely, so some people who know Sonic the Fighters better can confirm. But it does have Honey the Cat, which was a PS3, Xbox 360 inclusion. So we're not sure if they just ported that or what the hell is going on with this release, but it's very interesting. That intro is my sub-alert noise. Oh, Sonic the Fighters. I'm not good at this game. I usually don't play as Knuckles either, so... The Revenge of Dr. Robotnik. Oh! Fighting Freak! Oh, okay, they're doing the thing where each character has a little mission to beat them. Okay, good. Yep, this is good. There's finally some concrete Sonic shit in a Yakuza game. Didn't think it'd be Sonic the Fighters, but we're here. Oh, this is weird. Fuck. Jesus, that jump! What are we doing? This is a very tank game. Honey was always in the game, they just added in the code to let you play as her. So maybe this is emulating the arcade version with that enabled? That would make sense. That'd probably be easier for them to do. Okay, so we beat up Amy. We're doing good. My Sweet Passion. Yep. This is good. I like his weird little ducking and throwing blows animation. Don't understand why he's doing boxing moves to himself, but man, I wish Knuckles was more like that these days. It's so stupid. Fuck. Whoop! Yeah, this is around the point where the game starts fighting back against me, and I usually don't do so well. I heard you can just can kick enemies in this game. Oh, you love it, you can just... Right. Yeah, it's good. It looks real dumb, too. What's my grab command here? It's two at once. These two? Nope. But man, I sure can do that. What's Barks? Barked up the wrong tree. Yeah, there's not much you can do with Bark. That makes sense. We're gonna call that there, though, because I can sit here and play Sonic Fighters all night. But, yeah. No, it's here. Works great. That's good. Oh, no. We gotta get going. We have Lost Judgment to play. Alright. I want to jump into the pawn shop real quick to see what weird stuff's in there. Then we'll head into our apartment. Office. Thing. Oh, he's a lot less in this game. Oh, wait. Oh, equipment's back. Okay. Huh. I forgot these games had equipment at some point. Wow. A blueprint sent by the Ultimate Drone Racer. A ROM of Penguin Land. Well, wait. Shouldn't that say like a cartridge? Do I not understand something about the Master System terminology here? Okay, let's zip around here. You've probably noticed this looks incredibly similar to Judgment. There's no sweeping, huge changes to any of the UI or anything. I could show you a still from this game and tell you it's Judgment 1, and you'd probably go, yeah, look, it's Judgment. Par for the course with these games. It's a very incremental series, of course. The lighting's definitely better, and I think there's more detail to the models even after the PS5 version, which you can tell by me showing the wall. I was trying to get a close-up on his face. What are we doing here? Nope. Oh! The camera is like sepia tone. I didn't even see it. Fuck, I'm such a... This one. Good lighting effects, though. Oh, you can turn! Game of the year. L1R1. Oh! Okay. You can switch between those here. What you see versus what he sees. Yo, you got games on your phone? Do we have filters? Yes, we do. Not that many. Toy rendering is something Banana Mania was doing. I'm not sure what toy filtering is supposed to be. I'm going to do this really dramatic. Like, he's going to post that on his Instagram later, and all 4 of his girlfriends are going to be about it. Do your friends pose for photos like 7? That's a great question. When we get back to Kaido, we have to check that, because that was a great part of 7. Opening? I didn't know I had a record. So the office is actually maneuverable now. It's not a fucking claustrophobic mess to get through, which is incredibly great. We love it. I think this is just the opening track for the game, so maybe now the vinyl can be like a sound test? I'd be very okay with that. You can still decorate your room, as you could in Judgment. I can't wait to throw 7 cats in this room. Okay. I wonder if that's an actual brand in Japan, or... Dot Crystal. That's probably genericized. Yeah, Yagami, it was just bad in here. Guessing that won't be our job board this time. But the real thing we're here for, I'm sure we're all waiting. Master System. I saw one of these yesterday out in the wild for the first time in a long time. $150, and no. Select game. So we got Alex Kidd. Penguin Land. Oh, look at him. And I'm guessing these gold ones will be the DLC editions later on down the road. You can save at any point. This feels very Nintendo Switch Online-ish, if I remember that one right, where it just kind of gives you that stamp of where you were, and that's it. I don't think you get multiple configurations. You can view the controls, remap buttons, which is actually really cool. 2-player games. We'll let you play 2 players, it looks like. Don't think there's any screen options. So you might just get what you get on these. Man. I know we're used to games inside of these games at this point, but it's still great. I can't get over this stuff. Particularly when they actually add new stuff. Oh shit, I didn't do that. Nope, we're getting out of here. See ya. Nope! They could have made Alexander Child's fist a little bigger. Yeah, that probably would have helped, wouldn't it? I think, actually, that update, speaking of, just hit consoles today. So, if anyone has the remake of Alex Kidd, heads up. If you're wondering about PS5 features, like plugging in your controller when it's almost dead, that's supported. As far as activity cards go, I don't know if they'll open up later. But if you wanted quick access to Goatse Yagami at any point, you can just open that up. Yes, welcome back, Nick. Yeah, that sure was Alex Kidd. If I'm going to play Alex Kidd, I'm probably going to play the remake at this point, but I'm glad it's here. The option is incredibly appreciated. It says but. Ooh. Those are my most active hours. Seems like everything's still here. Cafe Alps, of course, very important part of Judgment 1. Forever and always. Looks like a lot of the usual spots are still here. I want to see if Little Asia is still burnt down from the series' recent incidents. Ruby Tuesday. Oh, if Ruby Tuesday's gotten to Yakuza, that'd make me laugh. Oh, yeah. I mostly just put the pin in here to show that you can still do the pin system, which is very, very appreciated for these games. Another quick little point of convenience I'll throw out. If you haven't played Yakuza 7, it finally makes taxis make sense in the terms of a modern day setting, where at any point you can just open up your taxi app on your phone and go to the taxi thing. You don't have to run to a taxi to go to a taxi spot on the map. You just say, I want to go pick me up, and it takes you there, which is very good, very appreciated. And in Yakuza 7, you had to actually go to the taxi first for it to register on your app, but I believe here, judging by that, you just go for it. Here's an important part of Judgment 1. Are they still here? Yep, they're still here, exactly where they were. She moved the seat over, but yeah, no. Oh, it's still under construction? Oh god, is it blocked off entirely? You have to pay a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. At a point, you just don't even have to worry about that money. Ichiban just had a shitty phone, so he was making do. Something I was wanting to test. Okay. So as part of the story we skipped, you come here at a point, and you do the parkour thing. That's one other mechanic we didn't see due to our skip. So you'll climb up this, and you get a Metal Gear Solid 2 grip gauge, and you kind of maneuver around here to sneak into that window there. I was hoping I could just come back and show it off, but I think it'll only let you do that in those specific settings. Kamurocho sure seems like Kamurocho. Nothing too crazy going on here other than, I guess, Little Asia is just entirely inaccessible, at least this far in the story. Wow. Why can't we go to the friggin' roofs anymore? Can we not? Oh no. Where's the one spot you could always go to a roof at? Check that out. Because now I'm curious. That's in Siaki 4. Oh, okay. You mean specifically those roofs. In Judgment 1, there were a few different spots that were roofs that you would go to. but not necessarily in the way you could in 4. Yeah. Swing around here. I mostly just want to see if that ladder still lets you go all the way up there, because you come to this rooftop so many times in the first game. Like, it's kind of funny how often you come back here. Oh, yep. God forbid you couldn't come back here. Well, at this specific moment in time, nothing crazy is happening, I should say. So yeah, all this. We're gonna make use of this taxi thing and head back to Kaito and advance the story some. Presume advisor scripted now. I think there are still random encounters, but the game hasn't introduced random encounters yet, so I think I'm just in like a peaceful state of the city for now. But once we get into things a bit more, that'll start to become a consideration. God, he looks so fucking boomerish. Oh, come on, Kaido. Come on, Kaido. At least now we match. Okay, let's get things going.
Ready to wreck shop talk? Not gonna be any bottles of beer on the
He looks like the cat on the phone meme.
Let's get to work.
We don't need to save this game. Come on, what are we doing here? Come on. There's autosave. There is autosave. There is saving anywhere. I know these are expected features, but there was that one Yakuza that came out after Yakuza introduced Save Anywhere that didn't have Save Anywhere. So for a while, I try to make sure to mention that.
Not a chance. You get a front row seat for when your boss shows up. What are you crazy?
So part of the scheme with Kosuke here that we touched on a while ago is that he is
He's that scary, huh?
either... I forget exactly, but he is involved with ex-Tojo clan members, ex-Yakuza, and they are helping support the scheme in some way. So we're going to go beat the crap out of those guys so that they stop running around and exploiting women. But we're getting a phone call from some of our favorite people.
Hey there. You miss me?
Jeez, it's been what, half a year? Everything good over there?
There he is!
Well,
Oh, spoiler for Judgment 1. The guy behind that mask is that guy. Oops.
Have our very own detective agency.
Wait, are you saying you started a detective agency? Meaning, now you're a detective?
Yep, got our own office and everything. It's in Yokohama. Didn't want to muscle in on your turf.
Man, I don't know what to say.
So for some reason, Sugiura teamed up with Tsukumo, who is the internet cafe shut-in from the first game. Which is the most fucking unlikely pull they could have made. But I am so happy they put those two together.
Anyway, we got a pretty big case. And to be honest,
That did look a little like Nick, didn't it? Nick, just grow your hair out and you look exactly like that dude.
So they can show us how it's done.
You need an answer right away? We're in the middle of the usual.
Oh yeah? More sneaky shit?
Yep, I'll tell you all about it later.
Oh, come on. Give me just a hint.
Sorry, buddy.
You all set? Then let's roll.
I'm so excited for the Kaido DLC. I can't wait to be Kaido. I can't wait to see how he fights. I'm just ready for that immediately. I haven't even beat this game. I'm just ready to be Kaido. Oh, there's so many good little effects now. Like, I don't know if it showed through on stream, but there was a lot of like dust in the air that you could see under the lights, and it looked... Oh! We're getting little details like that in games, and it's making me so happy.
It's not what you think.
We're here on account of a woman named Keiko Hamada. She says she's been threatened by an illegitimate business.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I hope it'll be more involved in the Majima episode. Oh my goodness. What a weird thing.
Agency, at your service.
Yagami detective? Yo, wait a sec. You the kid Matsugane-san took in? There, you see? I told you people have heard of us.
I have thought of another Judgment 1 spoiler that will come up after this. It's about the fate of a character involved in the game. Fair warning on that one. They said this was standalone, and like it is, but if you do care about the plot of Judgment 1, it is probably best to play that game first. For that reason, and also because there's a case for that being the best Yakuza game, so you should play it anyway. It is a fantastic video game, but just be warned, if you're here, we got some of that stuff going.
Come on, man. Don't give him what he wants.
Fuckhead.
Now that we're past introduction,
It's not like a major thing, but it does punctuate a very dramatic moment when it happens, so yeah, just fair warning. I completely forgot that was the thing.
You know the best part of breaking ranks with the
Too tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go ape shit?
No more paying cuts to guys upstairs.
Oh.
It's even tougher. And guess what I spent the cash on?
This is such an awkward exchange. Like, I spent all my money soundproofing this room just in case I can beat the shit out of anyone that comes in. Just in case you were curious about my financial transactions.
You hear that, Kaito-san? He says we're free to cut loose.
Oh yeah. Best news I've heard all day. I'm gonna open up a can of...
Hey, hold that thought a minute.
Greetings, Yagami-shi. Did Sugiura-shi call you a second ago?
He did, but look, Tsukumo, now's really not a good time.
Oh, so you really are just busy? He said you hung up on him, so I wanted to make sure. He didn't offend you, did he? I hate to think he upset you, you know? But if so, we didn't mean it. On behalf of both of us, I offer my profuse apologies.
Yep, no offense taken, man.
But you see my point, right? Sugiura-shi and I are a team. Our actions reflect on each other.
If this is indicative of the rest of the game, it's going to be really good.
It's a matter of respect.
Okay, I get the picture. We'll continue this later.
Okay, but when is later? Should I call you back? If you have an estimate, I can set a timer. That way I'll know when it's convenient.
Oh, I'm glad that character is back in this game.
Where did we leave off?
You gotta be shitting me. Yeah, pretty lame talk. That's it. You jokers are dead meat.
Oh shit, combat. Oh yeah, skills. I was going to check that and completely forgot. Skills, a lot like the first game. If you're familiar with the first game, the star point values are much higher. My suspicion is, and I couldn't confirm this in a demo, so we'll be finding out today. There's this, like, battle rewards list, and I don't know if these are one-time checks. They presumably could be, but there are all kinds of little conditions here for doing things in the battles that give you little bits of SP. So I imagine those build up over time and help even out these huge numbers. Because I think the biggest in Judgment 1 was like 18,000, and that was a weird far out and away one. Let's beat people up. Key actions look awesome in this game. They've really ratcheted up from the first one. Style switching is fucking quick now. You can switch so quick sometimes that, like, if you're just mashing in battle, you'll switch back to the style you were just in. So you have to be very, very dead set on the style you're switching. You can switch mid-combo. It's great. Feels fucking awesome. I don't think it's ever been faster in this series, and oh my god. High 10 elements. Can you combo between styles? Absolutely. I keep picking shit up. But here's Crane. See, I'm a button masher in Yakuza, so this is bad for me. But the answer is basically yes. It's not as, like, Devil May Cry-ish as you might hope. Okay, maybe you can't. It does seem like I'm just switching into the other style and starting up a new combo versus branching out of that style into a new combo thing. But yeah. Oh, that was Calico did that. Thank you, Calico. Hi, what's up?
Listen,
Appreciate that a
I
lot.
just wanted to thank the both of you for
So a
all
lot
you've
happened
done.
there very quickly.
I'm just glad to hear they got your money back. These two are something, huh?
But yes,
Oh yes. I don't know how I could
in
possibly repay
basic
them.
terms, the combat feels
Don't worry
great.
about it. Besides,
So far, Crane style has felt more worth using,
To eat the cost, huh?
Beg
which
your pardon?
we'll see how that shakes out over the course of the game, but
I take it all back.
that's already good news.
Anyway, what happened to the crooks?
If they're smart, they're skipping town. Doubt they'd reopen after how bad we wrecked the place. As for Kosuke, I made sure to tip his college off about his little side business. Should help him rethink his life choices.
So we saved the
So
day,
I'd say
the
this case
plot's
is
resolved,
closed.
and
I've sure learned
we
a
beat
lot
Law's
lesson.
Judgment, so
It's a
thank you
scary
everyone for
world out
joining.
there.
Oh yeah?
From now on, I choose the place when meeting boys online. And I should probably change dating apps while I'm at it.
That's your big takeaway? Really, Keiko-chan? You're laying this all on the app, not the sketchy internet ones.
We did it. We
I
saved the
don't think so
world.
at all. Plenty of people these days meet their match online.
It's true, Kaito-san. Apparently that's a thing now.
You see, if you don't seize the opportunity when it
Genda's on
knocks,
Tinder like a madman.
just the times that leave you.
He's late to a date right now,
Fine,
even.
Fine. Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, time to just destroy Sonic the Fighters now.
Saori-san and Hoshino-kun sure are taking their sweet time.
Now that you mention it, they should have left the courtroom a while ago.
Bum
Maybe
bum
they stopped for a quickie
bum.
somewhere.
There's nothing between those two. Nothing real, anyway. These old eyes can tell that much.
Wisdom comes with age, huh?
Damn right it does. And I've got more than you kids on both counts.
You talking about Matsugane-san?
Yep. The lawyer and the Yakuza. Best of both worlds.
Young Yagami!
From different backgrounds, we were brothers in arms. Both trying to make it in Kamurocho. You two ought to visit his grave every now and again.
We will.
Ah, the
That
lighting.
goes without saying.
Well, I guess we should get going.
I guess so.
Thanks for having us on such short notice. Oh, and give the two lovebirds our regards.
All rise.
The game is afoot. Alright, so here's the stuff from the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, you know what's up.
The court is prepared to issue its verdict. The
Hello,
sentence
objective binary.
for the defendant, Akihiro Ihara, is 6 months of penal servitude.
He's getting prison time for his first offense? Isn't it
What's
usually
up?
just
What's
probation
going
in
down?
cases like this?
Yes.
I'm sure his attitude didn't help the situation. From the start, the evidence was stacked against him, and all he did was deny it.
If that will be all, we can proceed with the court's rationale. The defendant may be seated. You'd rather hear this standing up?
Your Honor, in a warehouse, about 3 days ago, a body turned up in Yokohama. Oh, maybe you hadn't heard that.
What?
What the hell? What is he talking about?
I don't know.
I'll take that as a no. In that case, make sure you pass this along to the Kanagawa police. They'll want to know that the body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me by driving him to commit suicide. He deserved to die 1,000 times, but he was never even accused of a crime. No, he he just went on with his life. The law let him walk. An utterly broken system.
Order in the court. The defendant shall refrain from making such outbursts.
Sir, would you please sit down?
Do you have an explanation for the meaning of this?
Your Honor,
We don't know shit!
How's that for an honest day's work? I just want to go put my feet up in the office.
Sounds like a plan. I need to get back to Sugiura, too. He was telling us about a big job.
You mean a big job for us?
Yeah, down in Yokohama. By the way, Sugiura and Tsukumo, they're detectives now.
Those two detectives? Good one, Doc.
They're just ripping us off. Let's go beat the shit out of them.
Serious?
This game is absolute bullshit. It's like it's designed to eat your money. Yeah, what a fucking scam. Fuck this. I'm beyond pissed. I need to unload on someone's face. Hell yeah, dude. Why don't we go give some asshole a game over? You know I'm always down.
Oh, this is stupid. Aha! Here we go. Gangsters don't ask questions. Get too close and will initiate a fight without warning. Run away in most cases. You can get precious SP and maybe an item. Sometimes you'll encounter an unusually powerful enemy on the streets. You're denoted with purple icons in battle, though health bar will appear at the bottom of the screen. That sounds like typical stuff. By fulfilling certain conditions during a fight, you may earn battle rewards. Okay. Well, I'm going to go do this just to see if there's a one-time or not. Yeah, I'm coming! Hey. Ooh. Okay, so we got some stuff there. Whoop! Crane is interesting. Tiger feels mostly similar, but Crane feels like it got a good workover. Aha, okay. Interesting.
What is it?
I was looking at chat. That is a good question. I guess that's just the way punks in Japan dress. I'd love to know for sure. Oh my god, the lighting. Oh, looks so good. Oh, sorry, I'm just nerding out over this shit. Oh, this looks good. It's all the little things. Oh, active cars. I think that's a Yakuza 7 thing, but maybe it's Judgment 1. I'm getting mixed up on all of these games now these days. It's bad. I need to go through them all again. I definitely remember getting my ass fucking knocked over by a car in Yakuza 7, though.
What a waste.
Ah, clear resin. Great. Let's roll, Tuck. Yeah, are we at Amon yet? I need to fight Joe Amon. Oh, man. These games always look best at night. Oh, look at that little shadow on the ground from the light. Look at that. Look at that. It's good. Fuck. Such a little health bar. Oh. Hey, never mind. No, I don't. Tiger's health boost? Does this give you more health in the selected style? I didn't actually stop to look at this. So you could conceivably have more health in Tiger and then swap over to Crane and have nothing? Am I looking at this correctly? Each style has its own health boost. Oh, weird. You can boost your grip gauge. No more pull-ups to level that up. Boost attack. EX gauge, EX extension, EX enhancer. More battle bonus. That's good. We'll look at some of this more when I have more points, I think. Oh, right. That's not a default thing. Wow. I've been playing Judgment PS5 again for the last few days because I was impatient for this. And like even just compared to that, there's like a very subtle but appreciable, this a word I just made up, like boost to everything. Shit just looks good. Give me burger. This does bring in Yakuza Like a Dragon's combo health stuff. So there are specific food combinations you can order per restaurant now, I believe, that will give you perks. Oh, I see. They label it. So if I had less health and ordered both of those things, I could find better materials? That's interesting.
Starving.
Aha!
Now we're talking.
Oh, okay. So I can get that anyway.
Pretty tasty, thanks.
Yes, and it does have the profile cut-ins that Yakuza 7 had also. I've seen that used in main story stuff so far. I don't know if that's going to be a very recurring thing, but you'll get a lot of like blank expressionless faces looking out into the distance from either side of the screen, visual novel style, as they tell you about the story. I wasn't too wild about that when everything else looks so fucking good, but we'll see how often they fall back on that. And either way, we'll take it. Damn. Yeah, I'll have to come back and just fucking pour over this stuff after stream.
This is the Yagami Detective Agency. I run the place with the help of my partner, an ex-Yakuza named Kaito.
By the way, if you needed an intro to these characters,
I could say keeping
we
this
got you
place
now.
afloat was smooth sailing. But the reality is, we'd be drowning if it weren't for the gigs we get from Genda-sensei. It's not like we don't have the technology. But when street smarts fail, most of the time we have to get physical. That happens a lot.
You look so content playing with this stupid little drone.
Guess we can finally take a breather. Weren't you supposed to call Sugiura?
We have a drone, an office, and a Sega Master System. So we're out here.
I wasn't I? Crazy how he ended up in our line of work.
After seeing us in action, who could blame him?
I don't.
Yagami-san.
Oh, the cats.
Everything okay over there?
Yeah, sorry, it's a long story.
Oh, Rain!
You were saying something about a big case?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, you gotta come check out Yokohama. We've been getting jobs left and right down here. And if we can ace this case I've got lined up, we'll be the hottest detectives in town.
Oh yeah? You sure it's a legit lead?
Hey, have some faith. Would I waste your time on a bad lead?
Just looking out for you, man.
Well, I do appreciate that. Then should I save the details for when I see
I
you?
like the idea that they had to sell their Outrun machine to afford rent, and then we're like, well, let's just get a TV and a Sega Master System in one game.
Look for an office that says Yokohama 99.
It'll scratch the same itch, I promise.
The real question is, you free on such short notice?
Let me check my schedule.
What schedule? Outside of today's shit, we haven't had work in weeks.
Yep, they sold it for rent money. Confirmed.
Oh, right. Guess we don't want to look desperate.
Sorry, Sugiura. Yeah, tomorrow works just fine.
Perfect. Man, this is gonna be so great. Oh, and Kaito-san's coming too, right?
He'll be there.
See you guys soon then.
Oh, the gang's getting back together.
Sugiura said he'd give us the details when we get there.
Way to build the suspense.
Yokohama, though. Can't say I'm really familiar with that neck of the woods.
Same here.
But you know what? Kamurocho has been pretty tame lately. Maybe
Maybe we should go to that city that was already built for that other game. I don't know if this song is copyrighted, so if this is how my channel dies, mute this. You got a little sample of it. It's a fresh, hip beat. I like their streamer light, red and blues. No, this is very stylish. I like it a lot. If my throat was in a better spot, it would be. Do not incur Johnny's wrath. Oh, I'll try not to. That chariot right there is actually where I'm streaming from right now. Oh, right, there's a high school plot in this game. Right. Oh. I forgot. I was talking about it like 3 days ago and I already forgot. Oh. This song's going hard. I wish you guys could hear it. Dramatic Genda. Okay, we're good. Welcome back to Lost Judgment. My stream's still online, so I don't think the police took me down. Ooh. Oh, that looked cool. When does Yakumi get a trench coat and fedora? Probably when he makes a Something Awful account and starts posting there. Just step off the train. Alright, where's my skateboard?
Yokohama 99's cross streets. Aw, it's not even close to Chinatown. So much for us getting a decent meal on this trip, huh?
Well, then how about on the way home we take ourselves a little detour? Maybe.
Tsukumo's place is way out there. Want to take a taxi?
I suppose we could. But why don't we hoof it? Yeah, we could see the sights.
I guess I'm on
Yeah,
board
I think
with
we
that.
left navigation up to the guy who holds the phone directly in front of his face for video calls, so great choice. Okay, so we're in Yokohama. If you didn't play Yakuza Like a Dragon, this is the new city. It's enormous, by far the biggest massive land explorable in the series, and it looks like there's even a new part from Yakuza 7, so that's cool. Curious about that. There's a lot here I want to check out, but largely I've just been curious how they would populate this map, because in Yakuza Like a Dragon it was very mile wide, inch deep for parts of this city, and it's maybe looking a little similar here, but maybe it'll flesh out as we play more of the game. Where am I? I'm heading south, so let's go north. You can look at that map and see, this is why they made the taxi system. Good. Got it. Oh. I saw the little symbol to the left and I was worried I was drunk from how I was handling there. But no, that's just my material thing still. Okay. I was also, yes, hoping for that I've seen no reviews mention the Friends system, so I am worried it got the axe. But there's still time for that to be introduced and layered in, of course. So I'll keep my hopes alive there. Just enjoying this game. Yeah, dude, is that the dragon from Space Harrier? Oh, dude, sick. Okay. Oh, yes, fight, please. We need to Kristen this area. Kaido helped. I think there's a Club Sega up in these parts. So you can get them repeatedly? Is that what I'm seeing? Or is that just saying I got 50 points and also I can look at that if I need to? That's a... We'll have to figure that out. Aha! I remember Yokohama. Vaguely. Oh. Here we go. Oh, jeez. Oh, that was telling me my materialist thing is running out. Okay. What we got over here? Oh, these are little vehicle model kits. Okay, that's cool. Little bears and little cats. Oh man. Space Harrier, Super Hang-On, Mama of the Dead, and Virtual Fighter 5. Makes sense. And I think there's another one in the middle part of the city. Get the orange kitty? I mean, if you say so. Gotta get that orange kitty. No! That's not the one I wanted to get. Kitty cat, Calico. There's Calico. I was wondering where that cat went to. Kinda like this blue one. Think I got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, so you get that one and I get the other one. We got it. I want to check out a round of Hama of the Dead, but I don't want to lose myself into too much here. I love the idea of Yagami saying, "Alright, work can wait." Oh, that hair. Probably should check the rules first, huh? I do wish I could hook up an actual light gun to this. Shot through the helmet. Yeah, this is the House of the Dead remake, guys. Don't worry. Oh. We should be seeing more of that at some point before long, right? I hope so. Uh-oh. Oh. Someday I'm gonna have to play Yakuza Dead Souls all the way through. I forgot that you have grenades in this mode. Hey, Dead Souls 1, of course. Yeah, Joey has re-entered the chat. Panzer Dragoon Zwei remake, I don't think was ever said to be... Maybe it was said to be this year. I feel like it was supposed to be at some point. And... I forget what happened. Something leaked and it led one of the producers or employees of that studio to respond to fans kind of out of the way at one point. And supposedly the Zwei remake and the House of the Dead 1 remake are at very similar points of production. I don't know what that means for either of those games, but maybe if House of the Dead is soon, Zwei isn't far off either. But I'm very interested to play both, so I'm hoping they're sooner than later. Oh god. I forgot about these things. Yeah, they're both at points of production and will someday be finished, presumably. Fuck you. This is a fun thing. I'm glad this exists. It's just the right kind of stupid. Oh god. Fuck! Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to remember my wall in Dead Souls. There's some big boss thing that comes up and you have to use like missile launchers or something at it on mounted vehicles, and I'm always like, man, life's too short. I'll go play a better, different Yakuza. But that curiosity is going to get to me someday. Hey, I did it. Okay, so that's 2 chapters in. We'll say that's good. It's more Kamuro of the Dead, so that's a good thing. Yeah. I'll put out an 1.5 hour long video. Why Yakuza Dead Souls is a overlooked gem. No, please. Hey. Chinese sticky rice, green paste, oh, I can buy these, okay. I should get some health items, though. That'd probably be a smart idea. What do we got? Yixing Tang, Sweet Heaven, Full Belly Buns, and Ultimate Buns, side by side. Coming Boon? I mean, how am I not going to go there? Eh, coming through. Main plot character coming through. Thank you. Okay, yeah, there we go. Fuck. Kaido! What the hell, man? Just fucking flatlined me out of the way. Also, why did I find a scorpion?
And stay down.
Ah, okay, I see. Interesting. So that... Oh, okay. I think I like this. Now that I understand it completely, I think I like this. Scorpion was coming out of the restaurant. It was just having a good day. And I made sure it didn't anymore. Hashtag not an ad. Have fun with Super Metroid, Nick. Or else. Whoa! Yeah, fuck you, Kaido. It's weird that they turn friendly fire on. Oh.
Really, guys?
Really, guys? 150 points. Okay, yes, I see how they're doing this. We'll take that. I'm glad they still have the same exact incidental lines from the first game. Okay, coming boon. I just gotta see what this is. Oh. Okay. Very suspicious, nondescript vehicle here. This is what I was hoping to buy anyway, so this works out. I'm so excited that equipment is back. I can't wait to actually afford that stuff. Surprise back hug is a story that begins with hugging a stranger from behind. This method of hugging could be applied elsewhere. Okay. Yeah, it sure could be, huh? What else? Club Sega... Welcome Pharmacy. Right, I'd be looking for the controllers. Maybe they moved it. I thought there was... I always think there was one around there, but there isn't. That might be me being stupid here and assuming there's two here because there's two in Kamuro. Show. Let's go to the plot. I want to see Tsukumo and Sugira. I think this is the school where you take the Sega test in Yakuza 7. Which is a thing. I mostly just want to get into more fights because the fighting feels really good. Oh! It's a little breakery in a cool way. I like it. I guess Kaido just choked out that dude in the background. Oh! That just came to me. Okay. If I don't have to manually run around and pick up items at the end of fights anymore, thank God. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm ready to see what Ichiban's getting into. But I'm also cool with waiting on that game a while if that needs to happen. Oh! Damn, he just fucking flew, didn't he? Hey, man. Check this out.
What a waste.
There's a real Sega test. Right, yes. We have that backed up in its entirety on, I think, the Sega Retro Wiki, thanks to Overlord. So if you ever wanted to look at that, I believe it is fully translated, so you can go through and look at all the questions and the multiple choice answers and everything.
Nonsense over there.
That's not what I said. What'd you call me? What the? Hey, what are you filming me for? Knock it off. Chill out, man. Why do you care?
I'm just filming a TikTok, bro. That's what we do, man.
Just give me a reason. You have one? It's a free country, isn't it?
You say that in Japan?
Hey! What gives? You just kicked my sign over!
Ah, that was the wind, man. A big old gust just came through, right?
Yeah, crazy. Just now it whooshed right over.
I told you! Put that down!
I don't know what it says that the two girl characters so far have been voiced by two of the main cast of Persona 5.
So much for seeing the sights, huh?
Well, you're thinking.
Sega
what
does
I'm
like their
thinking,
voice
aren't
actors,
you?
though. That's for damn sure.
So, anything else you want to accuse us of? I'd say you must be losing it, Pops.
You goddamn brats! I got that one. He called us goddamn brats. You picking on high schoolers, man? No, I just don't want you loitering in front of my store. That's all I said, okay? So stop disturbing my customers. That part's not gonna make the video.
Wow, is that one of the
You're not using an iPhone 13 Pro Max? What a cuck.
Damn, the camera on this thing's amazing, man. Parents buy it for you?
Jesus!
Crap, he kicked Sakaki down.
You must be seeing things, kid. Anyway, your smartphone's kind of dirty, don't you think? Let me see.
What the fuck? He's just beating up his kid.
I'll give you that.
That's not okay.
Put this poor restaurant owner's sign back up first.
Asshole. You think you can fuck with us? We're gonna kick your ass!
Oh no, I haven't walked snake style. I wonder how this will go. Okay, this is new to me, so we're going to go through this together. When to use Snake, it focuses on swift flowing strikes and counterattacks and works especially well against those carrying weapons. You can deflect by pressing L1 right before an enemy attack lands, disarm with circle, and then circle with proper timing to disarm. Does not work on powerful enemies, of course. EX Surrender immediately takes out a fighting enemy. With the EX gauge charged, approach a fighting enemy and press triangle. Right, and I guess this is where I should say they're not heat moves, they're EX moves. Very different. So we'll just do some of that. Can I just... Oh, okay, I see. There's a glow. Fuck! Too late. And then this is a perpetual guard. Okay. I like the Streets of Rage 4 ass music. I'm a little too late. Oh, right. I didn't even stop to think that I could attack. Oh my god! That's not even what I was supposed to be doing! Oh! Just fucking elbow that kid to the face! That'd be really funny if I didn't just fucking wall up that dude. Oh, anyway. Wait, what? Let me do this? Why does it let me do this? Oh my god. Oh. These 18 at least, right?
Guys are monsters.
Oh.
Yo, was that Aikido just now? Oh, don't tell me you were training at a secret dojo or something.
Just more on my own.
I learned a new thing to make it feel morally acceptable to beat up children. You're next, guy.
One of those kids. Your call what to do with it.
You really didn't have to, but thank you.
Couldn't they have just called the cops and gotten these guys removed? Why was that necessary?
Private school kids would be better behaved, but they're just as immature.
They look like a bunch of entitled brats.
They'd learn some manners the hard way in Kamurocho.
Well, we've got our fair
I'd
share
beat
of
them up far more
conservative
often if they lived back in my neck of the woods.
Not to mention those Yokohama Liomang gangsters. Those kids wouldn't dare to mess with them.
So they're selective about their targets.
Yes. They'll only harass you if they think they'll get away with it.
Think they'll be back for more?
I certainly hope not. Anyway, I sure am glad you stopped by. Come to think of it, you're the only ones who've ever intervened. I take it you're not from around here?
Yeah, but we might end up staying.
Yeah, we might end up staying. Name's Joe Swanson.
Agency called Yokohama 99. We were on our way there right now.
I'm afraid that doesn't ring a bell.
That's all right. If anything, we should get going.
Sure. Oh, but before that, please take
Which
this
one is Peter?
Consider it a
Probably
token
this
of
guy
my
we're
gratitude.
talking to. Wristband. Also Heiser too. Hi, Kevin. Okay, let's go to the gear tab. That's not what I was hoping to see. I was hoping to not see a no disguise required. Oh no. What do we have here? Wristband will give me plus 3% attack. How pleasant. Oh, do you only get one quick select item? Weird. Can you unlock more? Flame shifter. Target locked. Okay, so there's some stealth ones, of course. Smoker. I guess you just get one? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I ever use more than one anyway, but the option's nice. That is weird. Also, what happens if I didn't go down that street? It seemed like where you go to unlock snake stance, but I could have went a lot of different ways. Weird. Wrong way. Let me just make sure. Yep, we're good. Alright, let's see our boys.
Yokohama 99. Yeah, that's the place.
Whoa, not too shabby, guys.
We'll take the extra cabs. I miss in Yakuza 6 where you could just walk up to a vending machine and fucking walk around with a can and drink out of it. It was one of the most pointless things the series ever added, but man, I loved it.
Yo. Ah, if it isn't the man of the hour, Yagami-shi.
The vending machine drink stat boost from Kwame 2.
Gentlemen,
Kwame
welcome.
2 is a good game.
How are you?
I'll say it.
This guy. First he falls off the radar. Now he's got this sweet office.
What? What is he doing? This is so extra. I love it.
You're still quick as a thief. Maybe a little quicker, actually.
Me running from COVID.
Very fair.
It was steel.
I'd love a 60 FPS upgrade unlock on 6 and Kwame 2.
We took from the powerful and gave to the powerless. It was all true.
If only.
And it's all in the past now, so let's just leave it at that.
Sugiura and Tsukumo. Kiss?
The place is nice, though. It's kind of familiar, even.
It should be. You are inspiration.
We directly copied you, but we decided to actually have room to exist in.
For sure. So, how about you guys take a load off? If you're ready, I'll give
Take
you
a
guys
separate PS5 release with no save transfer. Oh.
Let him go over what
It gives me another excuse to platinum those games again. Oh my god. Look at that gaming laptop.
Give him a chance. All the detective talk has made him go a little overboard. I'm sure it'll work itself out.
It's all good. Imitation really
Why
is
does
the
he have an
search for
Alienware? Kevin, you don't have to be so right.
To sum up why we called you,
Here we are. Here's what I was
seeing a
talking about
major
earlier.
upward
You get
trend
these
in these kinds of
sometimes.
cases.
I guess.
Care to take a wild guess?
I'll give you a hint. It's not a problem you'd find in Kamurocho.
So, it's specific to Yokohama?
I know. It's gang warfare. The outfits running Chinatown are at each other's throats, and you guys sort out the aftermath.
Well, we did just hear about the Yokohama Liumang. They're a gang, right?
Yeah, the Yokohama Liu, whatever. Bet they're stirring up shit as we speak.
Actually,
They're strange,
we haven't
right?
run into any gang-related activity at all. No, what we're dealing with.
It's like all the gang activity was wrapped up in a different game or something. I don't know.
Bullying?
Sometimes parents ask us for evidence to prove their child was bullied. Fairly often, they want these bullies taken to court immediately.
They'll also want to hold the schools accountable, but none of that happens without solid proof.
How old are these kids?
Most of them are in middle school. Research shows that boys at that age experience a sudden spike in testosterone. This leads to outbursts to assert dominance, compounded by the irrationality of an immature brain. Scientifically, this potent mix of impulses often manifests as bullying.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a child psychologist now.
That would apply specifically to boys, right? You're getting cases with girls involved too, aren't you?
Ah, with girls, it's more likely rooted in oxytocin, a brain hormone that also has links to bullying. See, oxytocin fosters feelings of attachment, regardless of your gender. For instance, scientists have
I see
observed
talking
that a
like no one
mother's
knows what
oxytocin
puberty
levels
is.
surge when
That's a
looking
very
at
good
a child.
question.
Then it's not always a bad thing, is what you're saying.
Kaido
Indeed,
might need the
did you know
reminder
it was
though, let's be honest.
oxytocin that enabled cooperation among our primitive ancestors?
Whoop.
Ancient matriarchs were particularly vulnerable during childbirth, thus requiring communal support. So
Look at
you
that
could kinda
baby!
say the survival and reproduction of our species was largely oxytocin at work. After all, raising a child in the wilderness would have been impossible alone.
Last Judgment presents the history
However,
of
this
mankind.
intense social need bore a dark side. Individuals who failed to contribute were shunned and eventually condemned. Let's say there was a villager who never put in his fair share. All he did was eat the crops. If that became the norm,
It's so weird that this guy was the "can you please bring me an anime figure from the pawn shop store" guy to the "let me tell you about the human dynamic" guy.
Primitive as it was, punishment equated to justice, a necessary measure for society's greater good. And societies with a stricter sense of justice
Fucking
were the ones
laptop.
who endured
This
in
is
the
so
long run.
stupid. I love
To
it.
put this into focus, these people are our direct ancestors.
So from a science perspective, modern day bullying is just primitive?
This does have a
More
little
like
Kojima
it's
to it,
hardwired
doesn't it?
into our nature.
Hormones are fucked up, huh?
I wouldn't chalk it up to just that. However, we humans do tend to reject what's
Hormones
foreign.
are fucked up, huh?
Whether we're socially awkward or simply misunderstood, those who don't conform are ostracized. That's how it's been since time immemorial. The misfits of civilization are deserving of punishment. All over the world, no matter where or when.
Looks like you guys have been doing your homework.
Tsukumo-kun's the one hitting the books. I'm more in charge of the fieldwork.
Makes sense.
There better be a side quest where you unfreeze a caveman and help him blend back into society at this point. They cannot put that gun in Chekhov's room
Here's another fun
and
fact.
not
while we're
fire
at
it later.
An act of betrayal also increases the
I need
human urge to
caveman,
punish the
baby.
offender. In those cases, the act of punishment floods the brain with
This is
dopamine,
reference material
triggering
related to
an instant
bullying.
rush of
There's a
pleasure.
lot happening
In
here.
other words, serving
I'm not paying
justice
attention to it
can
because
feel
I
just as
know
good as
how this
eating or
works.
having sex.
But man, there's a lot happening right now.
But that's where
And
we have
also
to draw
nothing
the line.
happening at all.
Justice can't be twisted into joy, or it stops serving its purpose.
Very perceptive, Yagami-shi.
So, back to reality. What's this big case that needs all the manpower?
Ah, yes. Our client is the chairman of a private
Subtle
school.
storytelling.
He wants us to scour the campus for any and all instances of bullying, leaving no stone unturned. That said, he also requires us to be discreet.
How big is this school?
Let's see, there are 6
They're looking
classes
for a
per
couple of
grade,
40-year-old men
15
to
in total,
walk inconspicuously
so
around the
approximately
hallways.
600 students. Given that, Sugiurashi and I couldn't possibly vet them alone.
We'll be meeting the chairman at a restaurant tonight to lay out the specifics. How about the two of you come join us? We could use the help.
Man, for a couple of rookies, you sure have it together.
You guys are free until dinner.
Oh, Kevin.
We already made the reservations in Chinatown, by the way. Think of it as a little welcoming party. The restaurant's name is Kyoinro. If you could meet us there, that'd be great.
Sure. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, Sugiura is the only one that looks young. And even then... Fucking look at this guy. Yep, that's exactly what I meant to do. Here we go. He looks young now. Oh. No, never mind. Wait. Boys! We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Right next to the boss himself. Oh, it's been so long since Mountain Dew was in the Yakuza game. Wait, is that Gatorade next to it? Hold up, we're not done here. No, that's... G-Zone. Unlimited performance energy. J-Cola! Suntory, I'm guessing? Oh, yes, Suntory. CC Lemon. Hey! You have no idea what you just started. So when you're fighting an adult, it'll specifically go for their face. Sure.
Really, guys?
Oh, it does come to you after the fight. Thank God. Okay. Why do reaching hit multiple enemies at once while in Crane? Oh, it's telling me about Crane. No thanks. What am I... Way up there. Okay. It's the batting center. General Goods and Heroes Harvest. I was kind of wondering if they were just going to shove Dragon Cart into this because they had it, but it looks like they have not done that. Which, I guess I can appreciate the restraint on that. As long as I'm looking at this map correctly. Also, there's a Smile Burger food truck? Oh, the world of Yakuza is evolving before our eyes with every entry. Bold new endeavors. And I love it. Why does that clip have cool story, bro? Oh, this is the medicine shop, right? I think they brought back Kotobuki drugs in Kamurocho, which is great. But we're not there. So, Hey. Yo, can I get a hemostasis booster 1? Bottle of sake and cat food. These are the only things I require from your store, thank you. Oh, these games are stupid, I love it. Where the fuck am I going? This way. Still no Pizza Hut. Hey guys. I just want to jump off a wall and whoop someone. Maybe I need to be Tiger now. Don't worry guys, I'm charging up. Do I have to unlock it? Triangle? Circle? That must be something I unlock later. I'm so used to having it. Oh! It's very quick.
What a waste.
Kotobuki was replaced by the lockpick place in Judgment 1. I think. Maybe it was there and wasn't open? I don't remember it anymore. I can't keep track. I shouldn't speak about things I'm not sure of. Oh. It's Sonic Lost World 2. Someone get Harry. No! I was trying to play Sonic Lost World again, like last night. I keep giving it more chances. I even tried a few months ago. I just need to stop. But this time I tried a mod that adjusted the way Sonic feels and some stuff like that, and like, it definitely felt better, but I was still playing Sonic Lost World, so I wasn't really having it.
What a waste.
Man. I like this little system for sure. It reminds me a little bit of the earlier Smash games, where you'd get that little rundown after each fight telling you all the stupid shit you did. Which is a very unrelated thing for it to remind me of, but I'm so glad. Something's making me think of that again. We've been going for a while now. If anyone is curious about any specific locations in Yokohama, where's the question? Or Kamurocho, please feel free to ask. I didn't even think to ask this. I just assumed I'm in Yokohama, they're not going to let me go back, but you can just fucking come right back if you want. Awesome. Cool, man. I remember Like a Dragon would just... Oh, look at that steam. Sorry. I think this was even in the last couple games. I just keep forgetting the detail we have now. Oh! But yeah, anyway, good stuff. I thought these were the guys with red above their head. I went to look at chat and I was like, they don't want to fight anymore? Hey guys. Oh! Everything is so nimble now, it feels great. Frankenmutt.
What a waste.
I thought this wasn't on Steam yet. Womp womp. I want to figure out these little green speech bubble things. Is this where I can bring Kaido to talk? Flexible carbon. Where is this game's Mr. Libido? A great question. That's one character I'm amazed never came back. Wonder if we get the Robot Wars stuff. That's a good question. At some point we go into the high school, and I feel like we're coming up on it a lot quicker than I thought we would. So it must get introduced that way. Are the NPC names as good as Man Who Fell? There aren't that many we've encountered yet, but hopefully eventually. Let's just get Poor. We can go right there. Oh, there's subcategories. Okay, that makes sense. I see how they're doing this now. Around the block, okay. Oh, that feels good. I also saw an interesting option that I might actually turn on. There's an auto run in battle option now. Somewhere. And at this point, I kind of want to mess with that some. As I immediately not use it.
Really, guys?
Oh. You know, maybe that is part of the idea here, huh? There are a lot of cabs on this map screen. Like, a lot.
Let's hit it.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Hold up, would you? Nani mite.
Woo!
Nice try, jerk.
And stay down.
I love the way he was shaking around, and no, I'm not gonna clean that up. Oh, I did. Did I miscalculate? I went the fucking wrong way, that's what. Oh. Can I not? You're gonna put parkour in this game and not let me do this? Okay, now we're back. So me too. Joe Swanson's revenge. Ugh. Okay, let's get Peking Duck. Ah! Oh, he's drinking. I will say, after playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, which has like 100 or so different enemy variants, it is a little interesting coming back to a game where it's just like, yeah, these are dudes. This isn't a dude. This isn't a walking trash bag that you have to cast fire spells on. It's just some dude.
What a waste.
Let's roll talk.
Kyoinro. Looks like this is it.
It is very tempting to abuse that style change button, let me tell
Are you
you.
almost here, Yagamishi? We went ahead and sat down.
Actually, we're right out front.
Excellent. Just give the host my name then.
Will do.
Was this the same guy living in a net cafe not too long ago? He sure has come a long way.
Yeah, at this rate, he'll leave us in the dust.
Chad Tsukumo. Isn't this literally that restaurant you go to in 7?
Without further ado, allow me to introduce Yagamishi and Kaito-san, the gentlemen I mentioned before. They are, without a doubt, the finest private eyes in Kamurocho.
Ah, yes. Tsukumo-san here has certainly been singing your praises. My name is Okuda. I'm the chairman
I'm Sojiro from Persona 5, the first video game ever created.
Seiryo High. Isn't that where those kids were from?
Yeah, the ones from earlier.
Is something
Tsukumo will take over Dragon
We actually
Palace
ran
soon.
into some of your students today. There must have been 7, 8 of them. They were harassing a
There's a
restaurant.
level in Donkey Kong Country 3 called Mykonos. Do I have to play Donkey Kong Country 3 now?
I'm guessing you didn't just stand and watch?
Hi, Blade Boy.
You bet your ass we didn't. Had to knock a little sense into those brats.
You mean there was an altercation? Perhaps I should pretend not to have heard that.
Come on, pal. Why don't we cut the formal crap and tell it like it is?
Still working.
Because that would be unprofessional.
I guess it is still the workday hours on your end of the country,
We'd like to
right?
start
That makes sense.
investigating tomorrow. So would
How
you
is
mind
work?
sharing any background information you may have?
Hopefully it's good.
Certainly, yes. Our administration has a very firm stance against bullying. Yet no policy is foolproof.
Actually...
The situation is unique. We continually ask ourselves, are we taking proper measures to foster a supportive environment? Or if
Have you ever
anyone
heard
is
about how
already present
testosterone affects young boys and how it makes them bully each other? Let me tell you all about it.
I believe the key is prevention. Stop bullying before it starts.
Well, it's hopefully over soon then.
Oh, yes. See, as this thought was dawning on me, I happened across a sign. Yokohama 99.
Show the old man the caveman
I
frame.
visited your webpage, actually, and I discovered just how well-versed you were at this very matter. At that moment, I knew fate was guiding my hand.
Sounds like you walked right out of a commercial.
If this game's plot
most situations
is,
we've dealt with,
I have
we knew
genetically
what the problem was
disabled
beforehand.
puberty to stop
All we
bullying
needed
at
to do was get
schools.
the evidence.
Oh man.
But in this case, we don't even know if there's a bully in the first place.
Hence why we called in the reinforcements.
So, I take it you have some sort of plan?
Of course. We're going to start by spreading hidden cameras throughout the school, anywhere that bullying is most likely to occur. This footage should provide a detailed snapshot of student interaction that would otherwise go unnoticed. Then, after a 2-week test run, we'll compile our data and present our initial
Did
analysis.
school already not have cameras?
Nothing beats a good old-fashioned spy cam.
Can schools
Yes, but
have
if one of these
cameras?
spy cams were found, the whole operation could be compromised. As such, our pair of experts are intimately familiar with the complexities of
Craig
human
Chin.
behavior, ensuring these cameras remain hidden.
Damn, you make me want to hire us.
This secret stays between you and us, Chairman. Not even the guards or teachers can know. Do I have that correct?
You do. I believe the more people who know, the more likely it is this would get out. At any rate, I've heard
Secret cameras in a high school?
case in Kamurocho.
Weren't we just getting on to some kids for filming without the guy's permission?
My full confidence and backing.
They just keep raising the bar on us, don't they?
So, Yagamishi, if there's anything
Hope
you'd
there's
like
no
to ask
bullying in
Chairman,
the Stone Age. I don't know, that cave baby seemed like a dick.
Hey, good idea. We might learn a thing or two from watching the master at work.
Todd Habercorn.
Way to put me on
I'm
the
out here
spot, guys.
Googling.
But might as well.
Oh, I have questions. Oh. Let's see. Lost Judgment plays Jin Kwana. So the answer is no, but he's in here? He's also someone in the first game. Okay, back to Twitch chat. What are we doing here? So we're gonna order Peking duck.
Hey, Chairman, you a big fan of Peking duck?
Oh, it's very tasty.
Isn't it? It's one of
So
my
we have one
personal
Yakuza
favorites.
7 reference already.
Nothing like biting into warm, crunchy duck skin. Oh, and it's gotta be slathered in that special sauce.
Are you eating
Why
okay,
did it zoom in when he
Yagamishi?
said special
Please
sauce?
place another order. If you could get back to the case, I'll make sure to keep your plate full.
Just order the damn duck,
And he
dude.
tells me to keep it professional.
I'm just thinking about that Peking duck slithering down my throat thanks to its special sauce.
Could you elaborate on why you're going the detective route for this?
Like I said, my goal is to nip any bullying in the bud before it can grow any worse.
And it's not enough for the teachers to be on full alert?
Unfortunately, no.
The teachers
I'm
at
afraid
my
I
school
can't
are
fully
dirty
trust
rat
whatever they
bastards.
jot down on some report.
If you can't trust your teachers, why did you... What?
Okuda-san, you mentioned you couldn't trust your teacher's reports.
Can't trust teachers who'd work for a private school.
Human error, I suppose. Behavior can be ambiguous, and it is difficult to notice every little detail.
Your first response seemed to hint at something else.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it did.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Where should I begin? You see, folks, it has been almost 4 years since the suicide of one of our students. The poor boy hung himself at home.
You mean because he was being bullied?
Not on paper, at least. We established a committee to investigate, but they never turned up anything. Neither did the court.
Wait, you were taken to
I
court?
have no regrets about Peking ducks slithering down my throat.
Filed a lawsuit. Now, there were online postings that may or may not have hinted at bullying. But the prosecution never found substantial evidence, and the court ruled we were in the clear.
If I can ask your honest opinion, was there really no bullying, Chairman?
I would like to believe there wasn't. But I may have been too far removed from the classroom to say that in good faith. Every day I watch our students come to school, and what I see are young, happy kids. They're all so full of life, with bright futures ahead of them. However, around 2 months ago, we lost contact with one of our student teachers. Everyone assumes it's a mental health issue.
The hell? Don't tell me he got picked on too.
That could have been the case, but I didn't get enough details to say for sure. From what I'd observed, he appeared to be getting along quite well with the students. But I later heard his family had reported him missing.
He does sound quite sullen.
At the end of the day, I'm asking you to shed light on the darkness that's plagued my school. That is why I went the detective route.
I'm not sure that it entirely answers the question. But yeah. So about those kids of yours we beat up.
We never actually resolved this, but we did get into a scuffle with your students.
No one got hurt?
How do you feel about that?
I'm afraid I have to remain ignorant of that.
Fine. But let me tell you one thing. Next time I see your students harassing someone, it's gonna be like
Next time I see your students harassing someone, I'm gonna beat the shit out of them even more.
That also part of the Yagami Detective Agency package?
Am I gonna buy the troll gummies with Xbox characters on it? They got Raz on one of them? Do like trolley gummies. Maybe.
In the event we do,
But only if I get a free month of Xbox Game Pass with my purchase on qualifying packages.
Provide appropriate counseling, in addition to notifying the local authorities.
Wouldn't that mean increasing the teacher's workload? Interviewing students.
Wow, a free month of Xbox Game Pass with qualifying purchases. See product for more details. Well, how could I resist?
Sad to say,
I love Raz from Psychonauts
The teachers
and
have so much on
Thief
their
from Sea of Thieves.
I doubt they'd volunteer to look for any extra trouble. That is why we must strike at the root of it.
The entire Kiryu saga of the Yakuza games on Xbox Game Pass. What are we doing here? Let's go play those.
You don't think that'd backfire?
Actually, it might be worth considering. But the fact of the matter remains, bullying has no perfect solution.
Did you know that Psychonauts 2 has a wife's boyfriend joke? No, I didn't know it was that good. Now I might have to play it. Okay, we've talked to the principal quite a bit here. Enough work talk. Have you ate into this Peking duck yet?
What else is there? I suppose we'll have to see when we get there. We may have more questions then.
That would be fine.
all right then. Time to dig in or what?
I'm amazed that this principal really sat down at this
Been yelling
table
this whole time.
and said, Yeah, we gotta install cameras discreetly, and I can't tell my teachers about this because word might get out. While inviting 4 grown adult men to the school, which will certainly cause no discussion or suspicion.
Don't you worry about that, Yagamishi. The bill's on us. It's your welcoming party, remember?
We know you're broke as a joke.
In that case. Excuse me. I'm ready to order too.
I've done the $1 Game Pass trick so many times. Someday they're gonna stop letting me do it, but... I don't know what was going on there. There was like 10 plates on that table, and he's like, "Oh, I think I'm ready to eat now.
For your first day's work?
Give me my order
I realized
started."
that meeting was a lot to take in, but the task at hand seems pretty straightforward.
They're also 4 grown adult men. 2 of them have already beaten up kids from the school, which, yeah.
We don't have all that money, so you know. Oh, and we'll be dressed as AC repairmen.
What? You gonna make us wear uniforms?
Of course.
This dude was like a
Freshly
Twitch
bonded and ready
streamer.
for duty.
Ah.
As you may recall, only the chairman is aware of our investigation. We must therefore.
He did used to
deceive
pretty
both
much live in an
students
internet
and
cafe,
faculty.
so he's pretty much a Twitch
Sounds
streamer.
like a plan to me. For now, let's call it a night.
You've got a point there. In any
So
case,
are we up in a
try to make
hotel?
yourselves at home. Apologies in advance if you find our amenities wanting.
Or are we just gonna sleep in here? Alright, monitor time. Cross the sea? Is this some game I'm not familiar with? Oh, he's hacking. Look at that. He's hacking in. He's in the mainframe. It's like a bird. I didn't even notice the multiple keyboards. What are you doing? You got a NAS server in here? Like, what are we doing, buddy? Ah, okay, that's good. Hi, I know how to walk. Excuse me. Oh. Futaba got competition. Auto text advance? Oh. It's still a little too slow for my personal taste, but we'll take it.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I support scalping. Uh-oh. He was trying to buy a rare figure and couldn't get it, so he had to buy from a reseller. Yep, that makes sense. I bought a limited edition copy of a game at 3 times its original price. Oh, this is a little too timely. I don't know about this one.
Huh? Yagami-san.
Tsukumo's the one who bought that copy of Mario for $1.5 million.
Huh?
Blue tribal.
Hey.
Can't go on sidewalks. Naturally. Oh! Hi, Moriarty. It's me, Video Game Donkey. Alright, what's up with Internet Cafe Boy? Oh, okay. We'll have to tell Kevin that he got exactly what he wanted. Moriarty, how are you? Sorry. Hey, Moriarty, how you doing? I'm Donkey.
Huh?
come watch my video on the new video game that exists. Uh-oh. I don't like that look.
Nah. Yeah.
Can you?
Alright. Let's see how well this plays. I've been curious.
Gotcha.
20,000 yen for an anime figure?
Yeah.
Oh. Hop on a skateboard. X or R2 to take off running. Hold down X or R2. Try collecting coin-shaped skateboard points as you skate around. Something good might happen if you do. What? Press X to push and gain speed. Circle to jump and circle jump higher and farther. Okay. Oh god. Oh right, you can't on sidewalks. Well, it told me to go this way, so that's interesting. I like this music though. Okay, this seems okay. Oh my. It said the trail my skateboard leaves will tell me how well I'm accelerating. Can I just keep fucking flooring it? I don't see any reason to not just keep mashing X on this thing. I'm not gonna lie to you boys. Whoop! Oh, they're coming through. Is this it? Am I here? I'm having trouble seeing my map on the TV. I think I'm here. No, I'm not. Wait. No! It still had my GPS carryover from when I was trying to get to that restaurant. Ah! Sukumo! That rhythm sounds a bit like, I don't want to be that guy, but it sounds a bit like, what's the Undertale track? Megalovania? Da 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 da. You'll hear it when we get there. It's building back around to it, I promise. Probably. Oh, I got this. Did you play Deltarune 2? I am 50 minutes or so into Deltarune 2.
Excuse
I
me.
want to get back to it, but I'm going to be very busy over the next couple weeks now, so we'll see when I squeeze that one in. Oh my.
No way.
The fuck is Thrifty Yakuza trying to do with my Nendroid? Nasty man. Hold on. Did I miss this thing? Do I just not get to look at it? Oh, what a shame. I was hoping it'd show up in my inventory and I could look at it. So I guess gardening's back from Yakuza 7? Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh! And I get money for disarming him. Okay. Oh! Snake style is interesting. I'm looking forward to having better situations to use that in. My friend sent me a tweet that reads, Stewie Griffin explains COVID vaccine in educational Family Guy PSA video. Hey, Stewie. You, gotten the jab?
Hey.
Yep.
Yep. This is a very rare color sample whose production line was cancelled. So this color has never been available to the public, and there are only 2 of these in the entire world.
Oh.
300,000 yen. What are we doing?
Serious?
This is an actual mainline plot thing we just did. Great.
I owe you one.
Behold! A blue-tailed enemy! Very unique. I need you to go retrieve it. Oh my god, the music's thing. Perfect. That's the music I want to hear when I get an anime figurine. Oh, we really just sleep on these couch. Wait. Where does Kaido sleep? Is he taking the chair? What are we doing? Kaido doesn't sleep. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yagamishi.
Oh god.
Remember those uniforms
Crisscross
I mentioned
applesauce.
yesterday? You'll need to put one on before we go. They should be a perfect fit. After all, there's no information I can't find. Body measurements included.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. You've never been one to miss a detail.
Tell me more about my body measurements. Hey, remember this thing? It's back. What is this? What are we doing? Oh my. It's like the ending of Yakuza 4, but they're in maintenance clothes. Can you change your lock screen on your phone? I have been curious about that. I didn't immediately find a way to do it, but there may be a way?
They sure look like men on a mission. But for what?
We will now commence our journey by taxi. to
So
Seirei,
glad this is a
Ohio.
voice cutscene.
Gentlemen, are we all ready? Remember, this case can open up a lot for us depending on how we solve it. So let's leave no stone unturned.
Don't worry. No case is too big or too small. We always swing for the fences. Ain't that
Kamu Light. Tasty.
Good. Then let's get going.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go play Outrun. See ya. I wish there was a more option for blood level. There may not be. Weird. Yeah. I guess you get your, rainy background and you like it. Okay, so I think we'll check out what's going on at the school a little bit. Then we'll, call it a night on this one. But I am curious to see what's up with the school. Kiwami blood. That's Persona music. Getting some Persona vibes from this. I don't know if Yagumi's cool enough to jailbreak his phone, but I hope he's cool enough to jailbreak his phone.
Ah, you must be the repairman. The chairman said you'd be here. I take it you know where you're going?
Yes, but thank you anyway.
They really just played that music for 20 seconds and said, we're out.
A prestigious prep school.
Wonder if the kids are on recess.
So, our first order of business is to analyze the layout of the school. The schoolyard should provide the proper vantage point. Let's head there.
Meanwhile, in the school courtyard, 30 steps away.
It seems this school's design is fairly conventional. See, there's the classroom building, and that must be the gym.
By the way, how many spy cams do we have?
3.
20 in total.
Oh, okay.
All of which feed directly to my computer.
Think we ought to split them up between us?
We could, but that might draw extra attention. We stick out enough as is, so people will wonder what we're doing alone. But if we moved in pairs, they'd write us off a lot easier.
Clever as always, Yagami-shi. Huh. That reminds me of something. When a con man pretends to be a cop, they'll usually bring along a partner. It seems the added person adds legitimacy, unless you're a natural skeptic. All that is to say, Yagami-shi knows his material.
Hear that, Tom? You should have been a con man.
Very funny. So, how about Kaito-san and I take half the cameras and you guys take the rest? Where are they, anyway?
Right here. Now, these cameras don't see very far, but they do see wide. 150 degrees, to be precise. So let's try to set them up where we think a bully would be most likely to strike.
So, we just gotta find the teacher's blind spots, huh? You're looking at a natural, buddy.
You
What?
would brag about something like that, Kaito-san.
What?
Better stop before I blush.
All right, guys, I think it's time for action.
Was that just his way of saying I beat the shit out of kids in high school? What is
You
this?
guys can work your way around opposite us.
Affirmative.
We've only got 10 cameras, so we gotta use them smart.
Okay. So, Kaido, you ever hear of the Midnight Channel?
Oh. Yeah, of course. The shoe lockers. Bet all kinds of team drama goes down here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid's not allowed to exist anymore.
Crush. Or challenge your rivals to duels.
Dude.
What
century did you go to school in?
Look, whatever. All I'm saying is, this place is worth at least 3 cameras.
Hydrate bot might be dead, but I'm about to hydrate.
See, a school never has that many blind spots. So when you do find one, you make it special. And this one's pinging my radar pretty hard here.
Huh. After that, sure, let's do it.
Tsukumo reporting in.
I want to see Kaito with a
Set up a
pompadour.
few cameras already. Feed is coming
Leather
in nice
jacket.
and clear. You guys are doing awesome.
Thanks. How's things on your end?
We just finished with the back of the gym. Next up is the classroom building.
Copy that.
How about I put one in the bathroom? No one would ever think to look in the bathroom for a bully. Excuse me, kid. Oh, it says go. I was wondering what the Kaido, wait for me! I mean, we're here. We gotta see what they're giving the kids of Japan. Always your power. No Mountain Dew for these kids.
The boys will handle this floor. So let's go up one.
The boys.
Gotcha.
They're back in town. You might have heard.
Every bully loves a good pair of stairs.
What
Pushing
kind of
someone
sentence
down
is
ruins
that?
their day pretty quick.
You think it's really that often? Still, it is a blind spot.
Yep.
Every boy loves the convenience of an elevator. No cameras, no one can see. Come on, Tuck, let's put one on the staircase.
All right. Then let's get a camera here.
Me and the boys when we run out of spy cameras. Mountain Dew is known to lower testosterone. If we could just get some Mountain Dew into this school, these kids would stop bullying each other lickety split. Don't cry, high school students. No matter what happens, you must not cry. Where'd they go?
Yagami-shi, are you perhaps on the second floor?
Yeah.
You just watched us go up the staircase, idiot. What do you want?
We're almost done with the first floor, and we'll be heading to the east building after. I think we can handle that all on our own. So can you finish up the second and third floors here?
Sure, not a problem.
Splitting up for a bit shouldn't hurt. How about I take the second floor and you do the third?
Works for me.
23. Shouldn't we be covering every rung of this staircase in this instance? That's probably a good first thought, right? Oh, okay. I don't get to choose. That makes sense. Like this white stripe on the stairs going around. Yep. Choices, you don't have one. Oh no! Oh no. I was joking. Why? I don't need to put a camera in there. What if you just...
Looking for something, pal? Yeah, I'm kind of busy, in case you couldn't tell.
I'm just putting cameras into the kids' bathrooms. Don't mind me. Observation mode.
What the?
Just immediately assume this guy's poor because he took the label off his water bottle. Oh. Well, I have to see what happens when I say this.
Sounds to me like you want to get reported. Slacking on the clock. What a winner.
Wow, way to be a jackass. And who says I'm slacking off? We're allowed to take breaks anytime. Not that it's any
He's waiting for you to leave so he can piss in a bottle. My first thought was, oh, he's bringing vodka to school, but that might be because of the high school I went to. West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Here, 1,000 yen, no questions asked. That'll cover a pack.
This
of
is
ropes,
so presumptive.
two.
To me,
You're a
this is
sailor,
more
you
offensive than saying, "Are you slacking on the job?" This is like, "Oh, you must be poor. Take this
You know,
money
you're
and
not
leave."
Such a bad guy. In all honesty, the budget's been tight this month.
But it worked, so hey, who am I to judge? Yeah, it's not like he's rich, but still, walking up to some random guy and being like, "You must be poor. Have 1,000 yen on me." Let's go see Kaito. I miss Kaito. It's been 3 minutes. I'm having separation anxiety. Can I jump out this window? Nope. Genda's law office spoiled me. Alright.
Kaito-san, I'm done setting up the 3rd floor.
Same. I've hit up every blind spot I can think of. Thing is, I've still got 2 cameras left. Maybe this tight corridor might be good. The teachers
Yeah, maybe
probably
this
passed
tight
by
corridor
with
might be
some
good.
plans.
Hey Kaito-san, don't you think we should be installing these in classrooms? Isn't that where bullying primarily takes place?
You might be right about that.
Oops.
But we couldn't cover every classroom if we wanted to, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, fair enough. Nice to see you putting so much thought into this.
So, as professionals, we'll just have to make do with what we've got. We should set this camera up wherever we can get the broadest view. How about the ceiling in the middle of the hall? Then we'll see everyone going in and out of class. Okay, Tuck, I'm gonna give you a boost. So make sure you find a good spot for that thing, okay?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Cutscene.
You know, we totally could have done this during recess.
Remember, we're not trying to draw the suspicion of anyone.
Too late to whine now. Just do what you gotta do and be done with it.
Oh, this game. Uh-oh. Oh, they all look perfectly healthy. We didn't hurt these people. We're fine. 1,000 yen to throw around, but can't get a stepladder.
Right? Those kids who started trouble at the restaurant.
You noticed too, huh?
Classroom 2-2.
Sounds like we've got some bullies in
Deep
there for
toot.
sure. That'll be a prime spot for the last camera.
All right. Just make sure they don't see your face.
Hmm. Even I have 1,000 yen.
Let's roll.
Let's roll, Tuck.
Excuse me, but I don't recall there being an inspection today.
Oh.
Sorry to be.
I understand, but nobody notified me we'd have any interruptions.
Yeah, and nobody notified us this school hired such gorgeous teachers.
Oh my god.
You know what? I don't seem to recognize either of you. Probably because our usual repairmen were here just last month.
Can't
You can
say
tell
anything
by
about
this vent
that.
on the ceiling.
We're just here doing our job, man.
You can call me Sawa-sensei, not ma'am, and you're in my classroom. Forgive me, but who may I ask called you here?
So this is how you treat people. I reserve my right to remain silent. The chairman hired us. We can't tell her the chairman hired us because he doesn't want us telling people. Being a dick has got us this far, so...
So, So, this is how it's gonna be, huh? Is this how you treat people who work for you?
I beg your pardon?
You call us here, put us to work. Then you give us the third degree? Not our fault you weren't notified by your own school. Isn't it
What
the
are these
teacher's
camera
responsibility to
angles?
keep
Oh,
track
I
of
love
scheduled
this.
Maintenance? But hey, what do I know? We'll just pack up and go.
Karen mode.
Now, just a minute.
I've been in this business a long time.
Maybe I should have a talk
Not
with your
once
boss
have I
about
been
this.
insulted like this. We could have been in and out of here in under a minute. But whatever. Your problem now. You better believe we'll be reporting this little exchange.
Why?
Really, there's no need to go that far. You'll be done in under a minute?
40 seconds if you like.
Well, if it really is that quick, fine. Then let's just take care of it.
Now that every student in the class is staring at us for this altercation.
Right, of course. Please continue as you were. And I apologize for grilling you like that.
Consider it water under the bridge. Why ruin our budding relationship over a little...
Yo, I'm gonna be the one to say it. She's got the Haruka color scheme going.
I suppose.
But she is a main character, so I guess it makes sense.
So down. You know what they say. Nothing ruins a pretty face faster than a frown.
What?
Kaido, please stop. Thank you.
Ignore him, please. Like I said, we'll get this done quick and be out of your hair.
Sorry for the nostril crowd. I don't think you're getting it today.
Sorry for the disturbance. We'll be going now.
Hey, didn't it look like that guy that kicked the shit out of us? Nah, man, you must be seeing stuff.
The hell was that, Kaito-san? You forget we're working here?
He's still stood with his back. Well, you see, they had that animation ready already, so.
One of my few good school memories.
What, so that makes me the bad guy?
All right. Back to work. I get it.
That's how they assert
Reporting
dominance.
in. Yagamishi, please respond.
Hey man, we just finished setting up the cameras.
Good. So did we. Could you and Kaito-san meet us at the gymnasium then? It's empty at the moment. I thought we might as
no.
well check the camera feed and discuss what to do moving forward.
Got it. Then we'll see you at the gym.
This is how I treat my friend. Imagine what I could do to you. Oh. Oh, I have skill points. These skills make life easier. Get the ability to attack after leapfrogging over an enemy. That's good. Wall strike. There's what I was looking for. Okay. Reduces damage taken when falling from high places when you fail to brace for impact. Not bad. But I'll get it later. Conscious Eater. I'm under the minimum point threshold now. Yeah. Where am I going? This way. Judgment lost. Wait, didn't it say to go this way? No, what am I doing? Oh, wait. Okay. It realigned itself. We're good now.
Excellent work, gentlemen. All cameras are fully operational.
I saw how high he was, and I was hoping he'd just be standing on a
So,
bunch of people.
Now all we do is sit back and watch?
Something like that, yes. By the way, Yagamishi, I noticed you installed a camera in a classroom. Did you find a lead there or something?
Yeah, that classroom had those problem kids from yesterday. Thought they'd be worth keeping an eye on.
Aha. Well, nothing unusual's turned up yet.
Guess we'll have to watch and wait. If there's any bullying happening at this school, this is a surefire way to...
So now they just sit back and watch these cameras for 8 hours a day? That sounds fun. School activities. I thought we were still looking at students.
Wrong as it is, there's something about smoking in school that makes it feel twice as good.
So weird.
You're awfully nostalgic today, Kaito-san.
Yeah, well, my school wasn't as fancy as this one. Plus, I dropped out after a year.
Still don't know how to read.
Guys, check this out. I think we may have found something.
What is it?
This is the classroom where Yagameshi set up the camera. Class 2-2.
Them again. Now they're picking on a girl.
Oh my.
Whoa, did you see that?
No, they're writing something on her? With a permanent marker?
Yo, Talk, let's go kick the shit out of those punks. No way I'm letting that
Oh,
slide.
Kaito.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Hold on, Yagami-san.
What now?
Looks like they got what they came for. They're already leaving the classroom.
Bullying in 1440p this summer.
It's like they don't even want to see it. Kids think this doesn't involve you?
Let's go, Kaito-san. I want to see what happened with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah.
I suppose we should report this to our client. I didn't expect to find anything this quickly, though. But now, we have irrefutable evidence that bullying is real here at Serio. We'll have to take this up with the chairman and see how we should proceed.
Let's go! Is this text for helicopters? Huh. Man, look at this city skyline. This is basic shit, but we don't get to see it this much in Yakuza anymore, so I'm happy for it. We'll take it. It's a different point of view. I wonder if he's get bullied for using Alienware. Oh, right. We're on 3rd floor. Here we go. Nope. I'm just kidding. Ah, there we go. Smash cut the caveman.
Talk, that's her. The girl we saw on camera.
Let's get a little closer and see how she's doing.
Oh. Uh-huh. Is this really easier than just talking to her? Someone wrote slut on the back of her hand in permanent marker. That's not good. Excuse me. Going through.
Uh-huh. Hey.
Mm-hmm. Kaito, do you mind? Thanks.
Suspicious.
Another thing we're looking for. Shoes?
What the?
There we go.
What the?
This is Tsukumo, paging Yagamishi.
Yeah, what's up?
I've just reported our findings to the chairman. Could you meet us here? His office is on the 3rd floor of the east building.
On our way.
We're out. I'm increasingly curious to see how this game handles this, as bullying in Japanese schools has been an increasingly discussed topic in that country. Shit. Is it East Building on the 3rd floor? Is it a different building technically? Nope. Oh no. She still has the label on her bottle of water. God. Oh. Can't laugh at that, but it's funny. 2 materials. Worn magnet and an old circuit just lying around on the high school floor. Okay. Let's get some plot.
Please come in.
Huh? You're that teacher.
You're that ninja.
Sensei, wasn't it? To what do we owe the pleasure?
Johnny Dorito.
All of these
Danny
men are
Dorito.
detectives?
Sorry. What's happening?
Yes, and I'd like to
Oh,
introduce
Johnny.
you to
Hi.
Jesus.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
These gentlemen are Yakumi-san.
So great timing. We're in the part of Lost Judgment where we are investigating school bullying. So if everyone's cool with that, that's what we're getting into.
I've explained the situation to Sawa-sensei, our homeroom teacher for class 2-2.
Ice is nice. The worst part is I'm really hungry, so these Doritos sound great.
I knew something was wrong, but I could never put my finger on what.
The girl being bullied.
There's perhaps a tonal clash of school bullying and Max saying ice is nice.
And so are all those kids surrounding her.
Wonder if that's where the bullying started.
Sawa-sensei, you mentioned noticing.
How is everyone coming from Johnny's stream? How are we doing?
That Koda-san hasn't been herself lately.
Suspend him. Expel him. Kick those bullies the hell out of here. The video we took has all you need.
Let's not.
If you played Persona 5, this is Sojiro, by the way.
For one thing, it would be quite problematic to use this video as evidence.
True. The school can't just come out and say we've been recording your kids without consent.
Yes, and let us bear in mind, they still
So
have
far,
their
so
whole
good.
lives
That's what we
to
like to hear.
We cannot treat this lightly.
You're not saying we should look the other way, are you?
Hey, last night you said the total opposite, man.
If you intend to cover this up, let me just begin by saying...
No one is suggesting we cover it up.
Then we need to
School
act
bully
now.
acting sus. We might
have
need to
no
eject him
idea
out of
how
here.
close to the edge Koda-san could be. What if there's a chance? What if she does something drastic before tomorrow?
Pardon me for saying so, but bullying is rarely resolved by the victim and the perpetrator coming to a mutual agreement.
He's read a lot of
Thus,
books about
a
bullying.
third party must intervene.
I presume you read that in a book somewhere. I can tell you from experience that many
Oh, he called him out.
open up about their situation. Not to family, friends.
Tsukumo, show him the caveman baby again.
Tremendous amount of courage for a bullied child to come forth and seek help. So if we, as outsiders, are to intervene, we must consider the ramifications.
Even so...
No, I think the chairman's right. Making a big scene might only make things worse for Koda-san.
Come on, talk. That's not like you. Someone's drowning right in front of your eyes, and you're just gonna watch them sink?
What I'm saying is, we have to put a stop
Interesting to have people on different ends of the table on this issue.
What started in that classroom will end in that classroom.
I'm sorry, but did you say you were a detective?
Name's Yaga.
Because you seem more like a piece of shit to me.
Put a stop to the bullying, like it's that easy. Tell me, where does all this confidence come from?
Bungle.
You think there's a real chance we could pull this off, Yagami-san?
I do. Can you bring up that video again?
I want to watch that caveman again in HD. It really does have RGB on it, doesn't it? Avelps? That's just
I think
Alienware.
the secret to stopping the bullying is right here in this video.
Really? Then by all means, Detective, enlighten us.
You don't have to be so
Imagine if you as a human being were brought into a high school to help stop bullying, and you sat in the principal's office and said, "Here's my Alienware laptop. Please review this footage." Oh, sorry, I have to update my NVIDIA driver. There was a new update today. 1 second. The secret in this video on how to stop the bullying is... God, just blame the victim immediately. The onlookers are the problem? I mean, it would help if they stood up, but if you're going to talk to every other kid to tell them to stop the bullying, you may as well directly address it. The bullying footage solves everything. What does that mean? Let's find out.
If we spread this footage on the internet, it'll draw all kinds of criticism.
What?
And that criticism could lead to support.
What the fuck?
Doing that would blow things far out of proportion.
Principal, do you have a TikTok account? I have an idea.
Certainly not would I. I'd be lambasted all over the media. Did
I was looking forward to Vine 2 also.
In worst case scenarios?
Yo, you hear that talk? It's not so hot.
You're playing suck shit, Talk.
Yeah, you're telling me. I should have given it a little more thought.
Ah!
It's those students sitting idly by. They're aware of the problem, but aren't doing anything to
That was
help.
really stupid.
Well, yeah, there's a whole flock of bullies. Get in their way, you're their next target. Adults do the same thing, honestly. Guess we're not so different from high schoolers.
Then we should hold some sort of trial and get the class involved? Is that what you're trying to suggest?
I do know my way around a courtroom, as it
Like
turns
that would
out.
Only spread the issue. And that would only
Thank
bring
you,
more
Bobo. And thank you to everyone who followed, by the way.
Tell me, what is your suggestion?
Twitch Dragon 7, Storm, Starshine,
What I'm getting
Jay
is that it's
Scarga.
the
Oh, I got a
science
big
of
monitor.
the
It's so far
class
away.
empowering these bullies.
Solarwood Curry
On the
712.
surface,
Dolphus
we only
Knight.
see students turning
1988.
their eyes as one of their own gets tormented.
Thank you.
They feign disinterest or pretend not to notice because remember, that's the safest thing to do. But deep down, kills them to see it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit.
So if the class could just express that, the pressure would then shift to the bullies. We have to tip the social balance in that classroom, become the voices of justice, of social law. Then, it's the bullies who become the outcasts. Would they keep running the risk of bullying if it meant social exile?
Is this really...
I can see how you arrived there.
Does this make sense?
So, where do we come in?
We come in by giving the bystanders a voice.
I agree, home dog.
We're gonna be the spark that lights a fire. After all, the first voice.
This is actually a legit method. Better than victim blaming, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
So what's the plan here?
Tsukumo, how fast can you get your
Huh.
hands on a couple of mini speakers?
I know a guy with a van out back. He's selling some speakers.
I can have them here momentarily, but I admit I don't really grasp the plan here.
I don't blame you. I honestly can't say it'll work, but I think it's worth a shot.
Thank you, Roche. I think the weird thing is like, it's a sound plan, but their thing from the start was like, well, we can't talk to the bullies or the victim.
I don't know what these detectives are planning.
So I'm curious to see how this becomes, let's make the kids stand up to them without talking to them.
Breaking point.
Do you remember what I told you about this?
You know, we haven't fought anything in an hour, so maybe we should beat up some more kids.
That affected Sawa-sensei profoundly.
You know, I
Perhaps
used to
brains
run a
of Sawa
coffee shop
being
with a
unable
talking
to
cat.
whatever
It didn't go so well in the end, and now I'm here.
I can see that.
As the chairman of this,
You like jazz?
I don't want to let her down. So please, help her, Yakuza.
I might need to grab that caveman frame and make it the new Crash Bandicoot smash cut. Talking to the bully might cause further bullying, but talking to the victim might make the bully think something was said and cause more bullying. Yeah, that makes sense, for sure.
So far,
That
so
definitely
good.
makes sense.
Looks like most of the students have gone home.
Do you have the speakers I gave you?
Yep, and they're just what I needed.
Dong dong.
You're the man, Tsukumo.
Oh, we
How
might
about
have
we
we
save
might
the
have
praise
something
for
there.
after our plan works out.
Anybody in the classroom right now?
In class 2-2? Let me check. Now that's odd.
What's wrong?
Well, that one's fine, but there's something wrong with the camera in the classroom building. The one on the second floor by the stairs.
Is it broken?
No, still getting a signal. Something might be blocking the lens?
Hmm.
All right, I'll check it out on the way.
We're going to do it. We're going to solve school bullying. Gosh darn it, Tootin'. So we are going to the 3rd floor. Okay. This is what I was thinking, but I was trying to follow the thing badly. Let's see where this takes us. This one?
How does it look, Yagamishi? Anything unusual?
Let's find out. Huh? The heck is this?
Did you find something?
Oh, I gotta delete that one.
Yeah, sticker on the lens.
That is funny. But it's technically a spoiler.
Yagamishi, behind you!
There he is! That's the pervert who set up the hidden camera. See, when you find a hidden camera, your first thought is to take it down. But that's wrong. What you do instead is block the lens. That way, when the perv finally notices, he goes back to fix it and
Look at this
bam,
Poindexter.
caught in the act.
I know how to handle hidden security cameras. As a high school student, I know everything. Goku, get him.
He's trying to peep on us.
Oh, wow, that girl's pretty sharp. Looks like we've been caught red-handed.
Come on, let's catch him already. Stop!
Hey, what?
Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, okay.
Are you safe, Yagamishi? Seems like you're in a bit of a pinch.
Yeah, you think?
Don't worry. I did the tutorial on parkour, so I know what I'm doing. I just gotta get my grip gauge up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, no. In case it hasn't been clear, this is a good video game. Mysterious seeds.
Crap.
Whoop.
Yagamishi, you should see a ladder that goes up to the gym's roof. That's my advice.
Colonel, where should I go? Okay.
Don't panic, but the school just contacted security.
What?
Several guards are en route to your location.
Great.
But I'm security
Just
now.
what I needed.
Taking these as I can get them. I don't know why that's up here, but it's for me. Look on the back of the game case. Fuck. This is a digital game. Oh no. Hi, birds. They'll never see me up here on the roof in a much more suspicious spot.
Where have you been watching from this whole time?
From the drone, Yagamishi. I found a spot that's pretty inconspicuous. From here, use the drone as a guide and jump from that roof toward the classroom. You're gonna have to clear a big gap.
10 elements gets 5 quid.
Try
Or
not
a
to die.
collective lot from everyone here who dared bet. I can perform a long jump after getting a running start. I know how to jump. Oh. Yeah. No, I did that. Quid's like that sea animal, right?
Looks like some of the guards have arrived. You think you can make it out of there?
Snake, remember the basics of CQC! Okay, Otacon.
Before that,
Don't piss yourself on the way out. I'll try not to.
Even after all that?
Yeah, I should be able to make a clean getaway, as long as I'm done before security gets too tight.
Are you serious?
It'll be fine. All I have to do is not get caught, right? Besides, I have the world's greatest hacker on my side.
You know very well I'm weak to flattery. But for the
Tell me
glorious
more about your
Yakuza
body
behind the
measurements,
eye,
Tsukuma.
I will not let you down, Yagamishi. Let's get this mission started.
Better be careful here.
So, we skipped one of these at the start of the stream and didn't show it off. But there are sneaking missions in the game, so the Metal Gear Solid comparisons are
I
apt.
should be able to help you get to your destination without
Vaguely.
Make sure you don't lose that earpiece, okay?
Got it. Counting on you, Tsukumo. I see now.
So am I making my way back to Class 2 too? Yeah. That's convenient. I feel like I could just hide in a bathroom for like 20 minutes and I'd be fine. If this was like Hitman, that's what I'd do.
Damn. Not happening. And this was the shortest route to Class 2 too.
Nothing we can do but find another route. Give me a moment. Yagamishi, it seems the rooftop might be a more viable option. Let's abandon this route and try it, shall we?
Yeah. No sense waiting for the guards to just give up their posts. Let's check out the rooftop.
There...
Okay, makes sense.
There has been a Metal Gear movie in theory for a while. I don't feel like they've actually really done anything with it, but supposedly? Ah.
The hell, another roadblock?
My apologies. I'm afraid that was a blind spot.
Well, shit.
Way to go,
How many
Tsukumo.
guards are there?
There's just one.
What if you beat the shit out of him?
Well, in that case, let's just get that guard out of your way.
You got a plan?
Of course.
Yeah, I would love a world where Judgment and Lost Judgment have more open-ended deduction sequences, but you're basically on a train ride, and you get the illusion of branch out points now and then, but it's all just up in the air.
So what's inside this thing?
Oh, just some peppers.
Peppers? Is this really gonna work?
Now, don't doubt the magician. Just
Don't
take my
doubt the
word for it.
magician.
Let it fly.
While taking cover, move your cursor over an enemy and press R2 to throw a smoke ball at them. Can I not just call up the chairman and say, hey, get him off my back? Like, this is way more suspicious. Fuck it! Thonk! Hey man, don't mind me. What? Ow.
Damn. It worked like a charm.
That was really stupid. I like it.
What did I tell you? But, Yagamishi, that only works once. You'll have to procure a refill on your own.
Yeah, I got it.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Don't mind me, school kids. I promise not to beat you guys up. You all are cool. Oh, I can't go into first person view. Don't mind me, children. I'm just walking through. Elf. Oh no! Where'd you come from? Okay. I guess there was a officer there? Oh, was that him in blue off to the right up there? Oh, I completely didn't see him. And he turns around. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Okay, I see what they're doing. I didn't even think to look. I just thought that was another kid. Huh. Don't turn around. Oh, there's another one. Okay, that's good. Don't look at the door opening. Okay.
Tsukumo, can you hear me? If I keep going down this way, I'll just end up back at the scene from earlier, right?
The landing where you were accused of being a pervert? Yes, that's correct.
You have any idea how it's looking right now?
I'll take a look.
Huh.
There's no sign of that sharp girl who framed you. The onlookers seem to have dispersed too.
I'm curious how we handle the
There
sharp
is
girl
one
who
guard
framed
posted
me,
there, but I'm
considering
sure you can get past him.
Yeah.
we come back
Piece
to
of
this
cake,
school,
just alone.
and we can't let anyone know that we're watching for bullying with the cameras. So, maybe she just fades out of existence. So here's a complaint I've had. It's more of like a minor thing. It's not like an actual complaint. It's just kind of disappointing. I mentioned Hitman. I fucking love Hitman. These games are awesome. You can throw coins to distract people in Hitman. And I saw this and I was like, oh dude, this is just like Hitman. I'm going to be able to throw stuff. You can only do it in the very select specific instance. Like, you can't throw a coin here to make him go over here, or I can't throw a coin in the hallway to make him like walk up and go around. I have to throw it here. And then he'll be like, oh, what was that noise? And generally you would hit takedown then, and then that's the only time you can take them down. If you somehow snuck up to a character in this game, in this sequence, and tried to hit takedown and did not use the coin throw, as I understand it, that doesn't comply. You have to throw the coin to be able to take them down. I don't know. Poop time. Poop time. Get a bucket and a mop. Oh. Huh. It's a good place to find those. There's always inherently a good element, a fun thing of just sneaking around, but I was just hoping for a little more flexibility on this stuff. But, like Goldstorm points out, it is at least better than a sneaking mission. That's for damn sure. I also like that it's actually pulling from your money when you do that. That's fun. Oh, this isn't gonna work. Is it? Oh, okay. He's questioning me, but he's like, I'm just gonna maybe let this happen. Is he following me? No, he's just like, oh, that's weird, I guess. No problem here. Hey, we did it, everyone.
Okay, I'm in class 2-2. Nobody in sight.
Roger that. Seems like those guards were no trouble for you.
Yeah, thanks to you. Well, better set up those speakers while I can.
Oh, right, that's what we were doing. I genuinely forgot for a minute there. Yeah.
Tsukumo.
That is a spot where I was like, oh, I'm going to get to think for a second. And it's just like, come here, man.
Testing. Today's forecast calls for sunshine and heavy security.
Perfect. Your speakers are awesome, Tsukumo. Almost like you're in the room.
Does this mean your setup is complete?
Yeah.
And what happens when someone drops a pencil? Goes under to look. Uh-oh.
Oh, no, you don't. You stay your ass right there.
Go get Yakun and the boys.
Not Yakun and the boys. Come on. We don't have to get those guys.
Didn't think you'd be dumb enough to stay. Could have sworn I saw you earlier on lunch. Now where have I seen that face? Oh, you're the guy from yesterday. The guy who stole my
I'm the
fucking
lovable
phone.
Kimura from TV and movies. You might have seen me on Japan TV.
Already come this far.
Right. I can get through this.
Oh! The fuck?
Who the fuck are you and why are you in our school?
Those are just actual bodybuilders. Those aren't kids.
You're only making this worse on yourself, you know? You're here to swipe some gold.
Quick, go get the construction workers from a few blocks over.
Does this mean we could beat the answers out of him?
Oh, yeah.
What?
We'll end up as heroes for breaking this nasty-ass pervert.
Sick. I always wonder what it'd be like to shatter a human bone.
Hey man, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
What is this shit? This guy doesn't mess around, Yakun. We all need to take him at once.
Remember, these kids are like 16 to 18, probably. Whoa! Okay.
Holy shit!
See ya. Oh no.
Don't let him go!
Okay. Oh! Oh!
Damn! I guess he's more than just your average creeper.
Rowdy students.
Yagamishi, you can't get caught now. They'll label you as a sex offender. You don't want that on the news.
That isn't going to happen.
No, can't have that.
We're here on a job. Why would we be thrown to the wolves? Alright. I've been nice to you kids, but now I have to not be labeled a sex offender, so I'm going to beat the shit out of all of you. What is this game? I don't get this part. I'm sorry. There's something I must be missing here. Music's good though. So that makes it okay at least. Yeah, I haven't acknowledged Yakun's health bar yet, but I'm a little worried about it. Alright, what are we doing? Oh, that's not so bad. Whoa! Oh no, I know what that means. I have been wondering if mortal damage is in the game or whatever it was called. And it sounds like maybe no? That'd be a good thing. Press X before a deadly attack hits to evade. This will prompt circle and X. Oh, okay. Interesting. So they give you a way to actually handle instead of running around the battle like a fucking weirdo. Like the last game, which is better.
Let's do this.
Okay. Well, I had to go into burst mode. I mean, it'd be embarrassing if this kid beat the shit out of me on stream. I mean, come on, guys. Can you imagine how that would look?
Easier on them.
Never mind those guys. You need to make yourself scarce. Unfortunately, you're on your own from here. The three of us need to make our exit now, too. We'll all regroup at the office, okay?
Got it.
I guess they just have to leave now? Okay. Hey! We changed disguises, so no one will recognize us now. We're good. Okay. I'm gonna head back to Yokohama 99 and get this debrief, and I think we're gonna call it for the night. There's been a lot to take in. But I want to hear them debrief the situation so far, and I think we should all get that together. Impure lead. Mugwort. Cool. I do like that they're giving you money for completing story sequences in this game, though, because now that every battle doesn't guarantee you money anymore in the wild, especially early game, there are some instances where you're like, man, I just need some money for medicine, and it's just so hard to come by. So, that is a nice thing. I should actually... Wait, I have money. I wish this district highlight was a little better. There we go. Okay. We have returned to Yokohama 99. Let's hear some more about bullying.
Oh, man. You almost got arrested and put on the sex offender list.
There's no way I'd screw things up that bad.
Oh, man. Your life was almost ruined.
I kind of wish you messed him up worse. That way, they'd never bother Koda-san again.
Yeah, but that wouldn't really solve the problem. Not everything can be settled with a fight.
What do you mean?
Who's talking?
Yeah.
That's where those speakers come into play, isn't it?
Yeah, if everything goes as expected.
Hey, you did everything you could, right? So we'll see what tomorrow has in store.
Ah, okay. We'll see what tomorrow has in store. So I'm going to update my stream save file. I don't know that I will be streaming this game again anytime soon, just due to how busy I am. I'm now going to work on the written review for the Mikonis Fan YouTube channel, if you need that. So far, hashtag free game provided by Sega that I actually already bought on my own anyway. This seems good, very good. It's more Judgment, which is probably what anyone was expecting and or hoping for at this point. Most of the actual annoying things from the first game seem to have been touched up, or at least acknowledged and made less annoying, which seems promising. We'll see how it shakes out for the whole game, but it's Judgment 1, but there's more than one city, there's more stuff to do. Story, I don't have a good read on it yet, but it at least is entertaining with how dumb it is, and at a point. What more can you ask for? Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone who came in from Johnny's stream and followed. Thanks for all the subscriptions and everything. It's my first stream back in months, so it's very nice to do this again and remember that I can do it. I'm going to send everyone over to Nick, who's still playing Super Metroid. What do we say? We got to do a thing. Let's say hashtag Yummy Yagami. That's what we'll do. Hope everyone has a good evening, and thank you, thank you. Start raid. Ah! I think it still goes. Oh, man. Okay, get out of my house.